Please welcome to the stage Regional Vice Presidents Claudia Hartnick and Edward Chu.
Welcome back to our afternoon session. So, how was that morning session? What can you say about that? Yeah, I want to hear that. How was that morning session? Woo! So, what did you like most? What about John? John Maxwell? Woo! What about, who else, Dr. Edward?
David, of course.
Woo! So, did you like that technology that is going to get us to the future? Did you like hearing from our founder, David Schmidt? Did you like that? Well, we can promise you that the afternoon is going to be as good as the morning. So let's get this started with something that is for us always a lot of fun. It's time for recognition. Woo! So, Dr. Edward, what is that first most important rank?
Before I start, you know that this convention is live beamed to many countries around the world. Hello everybody, hello mom and dad at home. So to me, the first rank is especially my favorite because that's the first building block in our networking.
Yeah.
So here we'd like to recognize the new manager rank in Lifewave between 1st August 2022 and September 15 this year. As we know, manager must be a gold rank distributors of above, must generate a minimum 110 PV per month. They must also personally sponsor 2 active silver or more on each leg. Congratulations to our managers. Please stand and wave our country flags so that we can applaud to them.
Managers, please stand up. Woo! Give a big hand of applause to our managers.
Congratulations!
Congratulations! Congratulations! So, Dr. Edward.
So in the next rank,
let's bring our colleague.
Bring our country managers for US, Garrett Johnson. Garrett,
come join us.
All right. Well, we are so excited. I'm not sure we got the mic working yet. Testing. Test. Okay. Can you hear me now? Raise your hand if you can hear me. Woo! Scream as loud as you can if you can hear me. Okay. I don't think anyone can hear me. All right. Now you got me. I can hear me now. All right. We have the opportunity now to recognize our second rank here at Lifewave. The first one, managers, our foundational rank, and that takes us to the next rank, and that rank is director. The director rank is where we start to teach duplication. Not only do you need to get to director, you need to help 2 people, 1 on each leg, qualify as a manager, and this is how that duplication process starts. And it's such an important part of everything we do as we develop those managers. So today we're going to have an opportunity to recognize on stage as for all of our directors that are here present. I wonder, and I think it's possibly true, that we'll have more people we'll recognize on stage as director at this event than we might have in many of our previous events all combined.
Absolutely.
And so we are so excited to be able to do that. So anybody who has ranked to the rank of director from August 1st, 2022 through to September 15th of 2023, we're gonna ask you to come to the stage. We're gonna ask you to enter from stage right, this side, and we're gonna have you come across the stage and exit off stage left. Can we please welcome up to the stage all of our new directors?
Woo! Our new
New
directors,
director!
congratulations!
Congratulations!
Congratulations. Well done. Congratulations.
Congratulations!
Don't let me go. Don't don't let me go. Don't let me go, don't let me go. Don't let me go, don't
And new director, congratulations! Woo!
Sale.
Negrita de mis pesares, hojas de papel volando, negrita de mis pesares, hojas de papel volando, a todos diles que sí, pero no les digas cuando así me dijiste a mí, por eso vivo penando. ¡Claro que sí! ¡Échale al zapateo, chiquita! Con su rebozo de seda que le traje de Tepi. Cuando me traes a mi negra que la quiero ver aquí, con su rebozo de seda que le traje de Tepi. ¡Sí, señor! ¡Como dijo Vargas! ¡No te rajes, feliz! ¡Sí, señor! Y me voy, pullas, porque este gallo siendo canto, sí, señor. ¡Ay, ja!
¡Sí, señor! ¡Claro que sí! ¡Gracias! Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of our Lifewave family, please help us welcome to the stage Lifewave President Meredith Burkich.
Congratulations, managers and directors, and if you're joining us virtually, virtually, we also want to extend, I hope that you were jumping up and down in your living rooms and celebrating with family and friends your great accomplishments. So thank you for joining us both in person and remotely via virtual. So I am very privileged now. It's great to be a part of a global company. And when we're expanding as quickly as we are, the selection of who is going to help all of you questions back, choosing that person is extremely, extremely laborious and done with great care. And so bringing on the next person to talk and speak with you today, we went through a lot of interviews and a lot of conversations to find the perfect person to come on here at Lifewave as your leader of sales globally, as your senior vice president. So as you know, Ryan Barson is that person and also our MC today. And as our global sales and convention MC, he comes to us with 25 years of experience in direct selling. And that really is the first thing that we're looking for a person in his position, because we need to know somebody that understands the landscape and that has devoted his career and his life to helping entrepreneurs like each and every one of you in this room and virtually to succeed. He brings a wealth of information and expertise. He has a track record, but the most important thing is that he has worked with brand partners in over 60 countries. And that is why we wanted to start out this session with an incredible international performers, because we have a global vision and we are going to reach those billion homes worldwide. And to help us get there, your very special champion, I would call him, I would like you to welcome to the stage now, Ryan Barson.
As I was walking back down the hallway to come to our afternoon session today, I ran into a few of the brand partners and some of you here in this room, and a few of you asked who I was and what I was doing here, and a couple other asked some additional questions and said, so are we going to get to hear from you again later this afternoon? And I said, oh, I promise by the time this event is over, you're all going to be very sick of me. But I do get a few minutes to spend with you this afternoon sharing a few thoughts. And of course, I appreciate the wonderful things that Meredith just said. She talked about passion and enthusiasm, and I love our industry. I've loved our industry since I first was pulled into it, as a matter of fact. And oftentimes, Meredith mentioned that I've done business in a lot of places around the world, and so many of those places, I have conversations with people, and they get a little bit nervous about sharing what we do. They get a little nervous about sharing a business opportunity. I'm going to focus a little bit on that this afternoon. And what's funny is when someone says, yeah, I'm part of Lifewave, we have these amazing products. Cool. But they don't ever talk about the other part of it, that you can actually make a little bit of money sharing this with other people. And if you're passionate and enthusiastic enough about it, it will make a difference in the lives of others. Not only do we help change people's lives from a wellness perspective, but we can do it from a financial perspective. And so here's what I hear sometimes people say. They start telling their story and they say things like, yeah, so my name's Ryan Barson. I'm really excited to be part of Lifewave, and we have these amazing products, and we also have this business opportunity kind of. Are you one of those people? Do you find yourself in that category occasionally? Are you a little sheepish about sharing with other people? Well, as I get started today, I want to encourage you to put that aside, to be proud of being a network marketer. And to be proud to shout from the rooftops what we do, because it matters. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about belief in the opportunity. Our opportunity does matter, and it's a big deal. And earlier today you heard David tell a little bit of a story in the process of me joining the team here at Lifewave. He and I had a number of conversations. When he first reached out to me, I really wasn't that interested. I wasn't looking at moving somewhere new. But when you get a message from somebody named David Schmidt, who happens to run Lifewave, a company that is growing, unlike many others in the industry, you take the call. So I had that conversation, and I absolutely loved it. And it was phenomenal. It was great to get to know him. And eventually, as he mentioned, I flew here to Florida, had a dinner with him one night. We got to know each other a little bit better. And long story short, on July 1st, I started at Lifewave. Here's why. 1, we have unique products. Now, some of you have been maybe involved in other network marketing companies, and there are good ones out there. I've been privileged to be part of many of them for the last 25 years. But what truly separates great companies from the ones that are, well, not so great? Unique products, amazing corporate leadership, phenomenal field leadership like you. Give yourself a big round of applause for me, please. And a business opportunity that is second to none. So let's start with the products. Now, I don't want you to think that in the lengthy amount of time that I've been here, a whopping 3 months and 13 days as of today, that I know a whole lot about our products. I'm learning every single day, like so many of you. And I know they work. I only have 6 on right now, so for those of you who wear like 27, please forgive me, I'll get there. One of the things David said to me in that conversation over dinner, not far from here in Winter Park, Florida, was his vision was to not have any, in his words, he said, Me Too products. And another way of putting it is not to have any copycat products. Essentially what it comes down to is great companies, the ones that truly make a difference in the lives of other people, are products that people would buy even if there wasn't a business opportunity attached to it. How many of you here in this room, and I won't be able to see your hands, but I want you to raise them anyway. These lights are really bright. How many of you came in because of our amazing products? That was the sole reason. Raise your hands. Okay, that's a lot. How many of you came into Lifewave because you saw great products and an amazing business opportunity? And I know there's also a few more of you who came in because there's an amazing business opportunity that happens to be attached to amazing products, which is also a great thing. The reason that really captured my attention that day when David and I were speaking, no Me Too products, no copycat products. He talked a little bit about being an innovator. And many of you who have known him for a long, long time know that he has always been talking about being an innovator, coming out with new things. He even almost went so far as to talk about some of the things that he's working on right now. Some new products. So do you want me to tell you? My job is not worth that. So you're just going to have to wait just a little bit longer. But our products really do make a difference. In my short time here, I've used them. The first set of products that I started using were the energy enhancer patches. And the first time I used them, the morning I went for my morning run, my pace over the 4.5 miles I ran that day was about 30 seconds faster per mile. Now, I don't care if that was in here or in reality. Now, I know it was in reality. It worked. And to get my old body to move that fast that day made a huge difference. I use X39 every single day, X49, glutathione, Eon. Well, that's all I got on right at the moment, but all the others as well. Our products work. Do you love our products? Next year, we're going to have a convention just like this, and I think we should have twice as many people who love our products in the room. What do you say? You all love our products. Those of you who have had opportunities to get to know the innovator and entrepreneur that David Schmidt is know what he is all about. I've been impressed long before I ever met him in person. You see, in our industry, we do a lot of competitive intelligence. I've known who David was for over a decade. So when the opportunity came, I took a look. And I'm thrilled to be in the Lifewave family like each and every one of you. David has put together a phenomenal team of people. And like anything in life, in our businesses, in your businesses, people come and sometimes people go. And what he's building right now is a foundation to take us to the next level. Meredith today talked about getting to that next level. The way we measure it is in revenue. We also measure it, however, revenue is just one measure. The revenue number really represents, it signifies lives changed. Lives changed for the better through amazing products or a great business opportunity. I see that in him every time we talk. When we have a weekly meeting, I see the passion and enthusiasm come out in him. He's a brilliant scientist, somebody who wants to make it happen, and he has surrounded himself with amazing people on our board and now on a growing executive team that Meredith is building here at Lifewave. We're doing this to be here for the long term for each and every one of you. We're also doing it for the people who aren't here yet. And there are many, aren't there? Amazing field leadership. Let me try that one more time. There we go. Didn't hit it hard enough. Amazing brand partner leadership. How many of you consider yourselves great leaders? Now, after listening to John Maxwell today, I was kind of thinking to myself, okay, I still need a lot to do. I have a long way to go. I need to work on a lot of things to become a better leader. And I hope each and every one of you felt the same way. Whenever you start feeling like you're an expert, what did John say? You're probably not. The more we learn, we still have to learn. In my short time here, I've had the opportunity to travel to a few places, did a big event in California back in August, went to Sardinia with some of our top leaders. We'll talk more about that later in the event. Got to know some of you here in this room, which was phenomenal. Just last month, went to Mexico for our office opening, got to meet some of our new Mexican leaders. And I don't know about you, but listening to that mariachi band, I was getting hungry. My favorite cuisines are Mexican food and Thai food, and it's pretty equal. I could eat them every day. So, amazing brand partner leaders. What you do matters. There are people all over that you've helped change their lives for the better. And sometimes when it's hard, maybe when it gets a little bit frustrating, when you wonder if it's worth it, when the last 10 people that you talked to said, I'm not interested in your thing, one of those things, when those days happen, remember, you have already made a difference in at least one life, and it's your own. And you have the power to make a difference in so many other people's lives as well. Our business opportunity. So I was kind of joking a little bit earlier when I was talking about how sometimes we maybe are a little bit embarrassed about talking about network marketing. And some of you might be looking around at your neighbor and you're thinking to yourself, well, I'm not embarrassed. Are you embarrassed? Some of you are, I guarantee it. That's okay. But if you were to stand up wherever you are, except for everybody on the back row, look around in this room. Thousands of people whose lives have been changed for the better. And thousands more who are participating virtually today. Our business opportunity is real and it works. And over the last 19 years, we can't count how many lives have changed. What's going to happen over the next 19, 20, 25, and 30 years? How do you create a legacy for more people around you? More than just your family, but all of your friends and everyone that you know. Ideally, what you want is to be known as the person who is pushing up other people, helping them to be successful. That when the time comes that someone asks about your reputation, they ask about you, what's this person like? That they say, that is one of the best people that I've ever met in my life because they shared the business opportunity with me and they helped me to be successful. Are you helping those around you to be successful? The quote that was on the slide that had my picture on it, it said, leadership is example. What I mean by that, it's not setting example. When you're a leader, you are an example. What you do matters, not just what you say. When I was in California a couple of months ago, I shared this phrase, always be sharing the Lifewave opportunity, and if necessary, use words. Always be sharing the Lifewave opportunity, and if necessary, use words. What you do, how you act, how you walk, even when you start to feel a little bit better and you have a little bit more energy in your step, people notice. Be sharing that with others. So we talked about that a little bit earlier. How to choose a direct sales network marketing company. Products, company, brand partners, opportunity. The last key ingredient is you. It is all about you. Our business opportunity is unlike any other. great business opportunities, great compensation plans. They offer the following: immediate income for the brand new person or the little guy or gal. It offers long-term income for those who want to maybe replace some of their current income from other sources. And then, of course, there's also wealth-building income. What's the difference between all three? How do you move from one to the other? Share with more people. It's a pretty simple equation, actually. Everything that we do, however, is still based on great products and a compensation plan that works, and ours works. There are people in this room who are doing really well, and there are other people in this room who are on their way to doing really well. And as you sit here today, think about all the people that you know who could use what we have. Think about them right now. Write them down. How many of those people are on your, I'm going to call it your chicken list? Anybody know what a chicken list is? These are the people that you want to share Lifewave with, but you're kind of terrified to talk to them because they're kind of a big deal. As John Maxwell said, if you're a 5, that person's an 8, go talk to them. You've got nothing to lose. The key to sales, and we are in sales, is asking. Ask. What's the worst that's going to happen? They might say no. Now, in my book, and many of you have done trainings and you've done this and you've taught your teams this as well, no is really usually not just no. It's not yet. Maybe now is not the right time, but maybe we'll get to that point where it will be the right time. Everyone who enters the network marketing world and everyone who joins Lifewave specifically has the same opportunity as the next person to succeed. You might be thinking as you look up on this stage and you see some great leaders at any given rank and you say, gosh, I wish I could be like her. Well, why can't you? You don't have to be exactly like the people that you see up here. Be you, but put in the effort. It's called in English. It's called network marketing with an emphasis on the W-O-R-K. It does take work and effort. Our Lifewave business opportunity is unique, and not everybody talks about it, but we should. And we should approach it with the same sense of urgency that we approach the patches in our products and how they change people's lives for the better on the wellness side of things. And as I wrap up today, people all over the world in all of our open markets, and here we are in Orlando, Florida. There's several million people who live in the greater Orlando area. There are people everywhere who are looking for an opportunity just like this, ladies and gentlemen, but they just don't know where to find it. What if you were that answer for them? You can be, you should be. If you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to open your mouth and share with other people, it'll make all the difference in the world. The magic, ladies and gentlemen, the magic that you are looking for can be found in the work you're avoiding. The magic you are looking for can be found in the work you are avoiding. It is a privilege for me to be part of such a great family of people like you, and I look forward to getting to know so many of you as we go. So thank you very much. All right, so I said at the beginning, you're going to be sick of me by the time this is all over. You sick of me yet? Half of you are lying. Okay. It is my great privilege to introduce our next speaker. I had the opportunity to first get to know her just a little bit at an event in Costa Mesa, California in August. She is a world-renowned speaker, author, and specialist in, you might want to write this down, quantitative integrative medicine. Yeah, 3 big words altogether. She promotes regenerative methods to heal the body and mind. She has had remarkable results using Lifewave patches personally and in her practice. Would you please join me in giving a giant round of applause to Dr. Stacy Holweger.
Hello, you here today. This weekend, has it already been amazing? How many of you are more excited than you were yesterday? How many are you going to be more excited later today when you hear what's coming next? I know you have an idea, right? Do you have a clue? No one's told you? Oh, I may have been back in the green room a minute ago with David talking about some things that are coming. I don't know, not for sure. But for right now, you're just going to have to wonder. I'm going to talk to you about something that we're all very familiar with, and that is our patches, and how to use these patches in a practical way every single day. You know, 2.5 years ago, when Lifewave came into my life, it was something that I was open to. I was excited for. Anyone in here, have you been excited about these patches? Were you open to patches? Were you open to this technology? I was open. I was ready to use this on my child, my son, my husband, myself, and I was ready to share this with the world. But you know, sometimes with people, they get a little bit hung up on the how. Have you ever heard of the cursed hows? How am I going to share this? How am I going to talk to people about these little round stickers that I don't even know what they are, or what's in them, or what they do? Has anybody ever been there? Or how about, have you ever been in a place where you're just so excited that you just finished watching a video or listening to someone speak, and you just start rambling all this information? We call that vomiting on people. Anyone ever done that? And the person's looking at you with glazed eyes, and you're thinking, okay, did I mess that up? Are they gonna want the badges too? I don't know if I said this right or not. So in my time here with you this afternoon, I wanna share with you how I share this with people in a very simple, easy way every day. So where are my SPDs in the room that were just at the leadership retreat at the Waldorf Astoria? Right? All right, so David brought us in back on Sunday, and we had a fantastic 4 days to connect and to relax and to really get to know each other and to enjoy our time. So how I have shared these patches over that 4-day period of time is what I want to share with you today. So some of us girls, after our top secret meeting with David on Monday morning, still not going to tell you what we talked about, but some of us girls decided to head to the mall, had a couple new SPDs, and we had to hit Tiffany. Anybody know Tiffany store? The little blue box? So we went into the Tiffany store, and the man is so excited to help us, of course. And we're so happy to be there. We're buying our gifts, we're talking, we're taking pictures, we're having fun. And he said, "What are you ladies in here for?" And I said, "Oh, we came in town for a leadership summit, and then we have a convention, our global convention's in town later this week." And he said, "Oh, what do you do?" And I said, "Oh, I'm in regenerative medicine, and I love to help people bring their body into balance." And he said, "Oh, really? I would love to be in balance." And I said, "Oh, okay, fantastic. Well, write your number on the back of that receipt for those bracelets, and I'll send you some more information." Now, I didn't go into any detail about what I was talking about, what the patches were, anything, right? He just said, "What are you in town for?" And I just said that very simple little statement, "Oh, just help people get their body in balance." And he was very eager to write down his cell phone. I said, "I'll send you some more information later. We've got to head to the next store." And so we go to the next store. And so this blue little tank top here that I have on, I bought this a couple weeks ago back in Sarasota, and I needed a jacket to go with it. So I said, "Oh, let's go into White House Black Market. I need a jacket." So Victoria, she was like, "Oh, yeah, I need to get a couple things too." And April was looking for a dress for tomorrow night. How many of you are excited about the gala? Right? And so we're shopping, we're doing what girls do. And this lady sees, the clerk, she sees Victoria's patch on her throat right here. And she has on a tank top and a jacket. And she says, "What is that patch?" And she said, "Oh, this is my longevity patch." And the lady says, "Oh, longevity? I need that." And I I say to Victoria, I said, do you have your card? She goes, oh yeah, hang on one second. She gets her card out of her purse, and the lady says, well, how do I get this? And she said, well, my website's right here on the card, but I'm happy to send you some more information. Oh, yeah, sure. And she gets out a little notepad and pen, writes down the lady's number and says, oh, I'll send you a text here in a minute, because we're right in the middle of undressing, dressing in the dressing room. No big deal, right? So a little bit later, the lady comes up to Laura and says, hey, can you do a little pop-up here right now? And we're like, pop-up? And she goes, yeah, can you talk to the manager and all the staff about what these patches are, these longevity patches? Laura's like, sure, let's do this real quick. So we go up to the front of the store, and she's talking to the ladies about this. And again, just taking down their information. We'll send you some more information. We don't want to bother you. You're busy. We're busy, right? Super simple and easy. Not too much information. It's called being curious, right? You heard that. Let's be curious. Meredith talked about being curious. And that's really important. You want to pique their curiosity. So we leave the store, we have a great time, right? We come back. Well, the next morning, guess what? I go to the gym. Anybody go to the gym this morning? Okay, well, we're going to do that tomorrow. All right. So I go to the gym the next morning. I've got my tank top on, got my energy enhancers on, right? I see Ryan on the treadmill. And I walk in, I'm going over to do the weights. And there's a lady cleaning the wall. There's some kind of spot on the wall or something. And she looks at me and she goes, what are those patches right there? And I said, oh, these are my energy enhancer. You know, it is 6:30 in the morning. I need a little pep in my step. And she goes, well, what do they do? And I said, well, they work with my body's own natural energetic system to give me that little extra boost I need through this workout and throughout the day. She says, well, I need that too. I said, great, I don't have anything on me because I'm in the gym, but I do have my phone. So is it okay if I take your number down and send you some information a little bit later? Sure, no problem. That simple. Like, we didn't have a long, drawn-out conversation. She didn't ask a million questions. I didn't offer tons of information. She didn't ask me anything other than what they were. What did they do? Oh, I need that. So then David gifted us an amazing massage on Wednesday. So, you know, I've been traveling a little bit. You guys ever seen me traveling anywhere here recently? Right? Been traveling a little bit. May have been on 3 airplanes in the month of September, 3 different weekends. It was fantastic. Traveled to amazing areas and met fantastic people. But, you know, I've been in and out of some hotels here recently. So I went to get the massage, and I had Lifewave on my low back. Not because I have back pain or issues. It's just been sleeping in a lot of different beds in the last 4 weeks. Anybody can relate to that? Right? So the man that's doing my massage, when he gets to my low back, he said, oh, do I need to avoid this area? Is there a problem? And I said, no, not at all. I said, I've just been traveling a little bit, and I've got, you know, these patches on back here that help me with, you know, keeping my body and my energy flowing so that I feel the best every single day. And I can go from hotel to hotel or wherever I'm at, whatever I'm doing, and have that perfect feeling in my body. And he said, I need that. And I said, I'm sure you do, massaging people all day long, every day. And he said, well, how do I get that? But wait, I don't want to ruin your massage. Can you write down your information after we're done? I would love to know more about this, because I'm sure this could help some of my clients that I see on a daily basis. So the massage was fantastic. I get up and, you know, of course we're heading to the lobby, and I saw a couple of women in here, Robin and Victoria in the waiting room for women. I'm like, I can't even form a sentence. This massage was so incredible. But I formulate enough to write down my number and exchange numbers with him. That's how simple this is. So what do I send him? Send him a quick little video. What is light? What is Lifewave? Right? Something very simple. You just want to create a conversation. You heard John Maxwell talk about communication. That communication needs to take place away from that situation where they're out and doing what they're doing and you're doing what you're doing, right? Take that conversation back out of that area to where you get on the phone or you do some email or maybe even on a Zoom or by text. So I want you to know, if you take anything away from today, it's keep it simple. Please keep this simple. It is not that difficult. You don't have to know all the science and tech and details. You just have to wear your patches where people see them, go out about your day, be happy, be excited, be energetic, and be open. Other people are too. Thank you.
Isn't Stacy amazing? Do you all want to be like her? Okay, well, don't. Be yourself. But any one of you can do this. That's the thing. It is my privilege to get to announce and bring up to the stage our next speaker. This individual uses his athletic talents to make a difference in the world, which is always admirable. He has raised large sums of donations for relief efforts and many humanitarian efforts. Here to share how Lifewave has enhanced his ability to contribute to the greater good in our world, would you please join me in welcoming to the stage a renowned cyclist. In fact, he kind of goes by the moniker the Barefoot Cyclist, Carson Caldwell.
Thank you so much, thank you. Wow, okay. Hello, hi. Thank you. Hi. Yes. Thank you for being here today. It's a lot of people out there. It's really cool. There's so many members of the international community today. Thanks for coming out. Welcome to the United States. It's a great place. Yeah. Well, I must first start by saying a couple thank yous. I would have to say a huge thank you, of course, to Mr. David Schmidt. He's an incredible guy. He's just what he's done since the inception of this company is amazing. Considering in the beginning he was sort of scoffed at, and people. It was hard to take seriously, but now it's grown into something amazing, really, and it's very cool that. It's a company that manufactures products that essentially help improve the quality of life, help improve things like stamina, health, strength, and even recovery, right? Things like this. And I think it's wonderful that the model is structured such that people can really create significant personal wealth for themselves while also really genuinely helping others, right? So this is a wonderful thing. So a little bit of background about myself. I am pursuing cycling, professional cycling. And in 2019, I rode across the United States from the East Coast to the West Coast on my bike, and I did it barefoot, just sort of as like an experiment, just to see what's possible. And along the way, I was working with a charity, and we raised some money for Yemen, a pretty war-torn country at the time. And we raised over $20,000 for food, medical kits, and we even had a well drilled. So I was really proud of that, and really, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I was really happy with how that turned out, and I learned a lot on that trip. And basically, one of the primary things that I learned was the value of a specialized team with aligned goals. So, my skill sets can really only get me so far, but when I'm surrounded by people that have specialized skills, when we're all working together, it's just really wonderful what can be accomplished, right? So, so basically since then, I've been kind of just working on improving my health and my ability on a bike to hopefully one day be able to join the U.S. Olympic track cycling team. And thank you. Yes. Yes, and so basically, I was super humbled and amazed when David reached out to me and offered to have Lifewave sponsor me when he heard that what my goals were. Right. So currently I thank you. Yes. So currently I live in New Mexico, which at about 7,000 feet elevation. Oh, cool. Hey, and. Yeah, and so I'm training at altitude, doing kind of a lot of intense, different sorts of activities to generally improve my cardiovascular health and endurance and strength, things like that. Yeah, so it's been a lot of fun, and honestly, these patches have been so incredibly helpful along the way. I would say predominantly with, of course, stamina and strength, but with recovery, right? Like recovery is an extremely important thing. So, at the end of a day of a difficult workout, having the luxury of having patches nearby for recovery is just a serious privilege, of course. But then, I also want to highlight kind of the value of having the patches accessible at all times. For this idea of what I would call like immediate targeted therapy. So for instance, if I have an issue in a specific area, just being able to immediately patch it within several minutes and then do things like, stretching, obviously staying hydrated, antioxidants. So it's a wonderful synergistic thing that ends up happening when you combine use of the patches with, health and fitness related activities, of course. So yeah, and really, it's really a pleasure to be here in front of you today. I don't have too much time up here, but yes, thank you. I would say that right now my goals are just basically focused on improvement, right? So like, if I can just objectively improve a little bit every day in some way, that's what I need to be doing. And I think that's something that everybody can relate to. Is just this idea of constantly improving, whether it's with knowledge, increasing your knowledge, increasing financial wherewithal, or strength, or anything like that. Just the spirit of improvement. So I wanna leave you today and encourage you to just commit and focus on what's important to you, and be serious, and surround yourself with a good team. And really, the value of a specialized and goal-driven team is a force multiplier. So, again, thank you for your time today, and thank you so much. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Carson. We're going to switch it up a little bit now. How about that? It is really kind of fun for me to do what we're about to do. We're going to have a panel discussion that's going to focus a little bit around wellness and athletics and Lifewave. Hosting today's panel is a mother and son power duo, Renita and Bo Brennan. Come on out, Renita and Bo. She
Let's go. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. If you've ever spent even 2 minutes with Renita, you know that she has so much positive energy. It is difficult for me to keep up with her. She brings energy and excitement to a whole new level. And her son, Bo, is an athlete himself, a very competitive runner. Well, all you got to do is look at him. I've never looked like that in my life, even 25 years ago. Joining us also on the stage, a number of leaders from a few places around the world, so a little bit of an international flavor to this one. Starting off, an athlete, cyclist, triathlete. I got to meet him for the first time not too long ago in Italy. He is from the country of Germany, and as soon as he starts speaking, you'll hear it. It's beautiful, the accent. Please join me in welcoming to the stage SPD Senior Presidential Director Jan Wiegel.
Woo! Go, Jan.
Welcome, Jan. Next up, I don't know if you've ever heard of this before, but a world record holder skydiver. Her name is Ann DeCoker, Senior Presidential Director.
Yeah.
Give her a big round of applause as she comes out.
Let's go, Annie. Let's go, girl. Woo!
Go ahead. Welcome. Also joining us today from the United States, also personal trainer for most of her life, a phenomenal speaker. It's so fun for me to get to know all of these new people. Please give a giant round of applause to Laura Balzer.
Woo! Let's go, Laura! Awesome, Laura!
And we do have one more panelist, and I really hope she's sitting in the audience right now because we've been trying to get a hold of her to have her come backstage. But sometimes communication isn't always that clear. Susie McCleary, if you are here, come up and join us up on the stage. If you happen to be here. Come on, Susie, if you're in here somewhere. But if you're not, Susie, we get it. It's okay. And we're going to proceed with these amazing people.
Is that Susie?
I think
Susie,
she's coming.
wait, it's you.
Okay.
She's coming. Here
Excellent.
she comes, baby.
So Susie brings some tremendous experience to the panel as well, and also an international flair. She's a presidential director from Australia. She's an acupuncturist and doctor of Chinese medicine. Please give a great big round of applause to Susie McCleary.
Awesome. Come on, come on. You guys want to get up? Get up! Come on! Let's go, Tina! Right here. You guys want to get up? Let's get some energy going here. Everybody on your feet!
Pull up
You're
a
going
chair.
to learn better! Woo! Come on! Come on! Woo!
You got it. It's all
Thank
yours.
You, Ryan. We appreciate you. Come on, you guys. You're going to learn so much better when you're on your feet. Hey! You guys ready? You ready? You ready? Awesome. Yeah. Let's go. All right. Get your notebooks out. Get your pens out. We're going to learn. Let's go, you guys. Ready to do it? Woo! I am so excited to be here. Now, I'm just going to tell you something. Do you guys know that when you actually get up and move your body, my mom was diagnosed with Parkinson's about 7 years ago now, and I learned the most incredible thing that all of us can apply, that when you get up and move your body for even 60 seconds, do you know there's like a 2-minute window after that where you can learn more? How many of you think you need to increase your learning and your capacity to know more? Raise your hand. Give me a holler. Couple of you. The rest of you, we'll just let you keep patching. All right, we're going to keep going here because we have this incredible panel. Thank you, Bo. I love you. Look at that. Isn't my son handsome? Such a great young man. Such a great young man. So we've got this great team of leaders, really. Just incredible leadership here. Senior presidential directors, wisdom. And this woman, I want her to be my bodyguard because she's like 11-time world record holder. I mean, can you guys, have any of you jumped out of a plane once? Anybody? Do you want to jump out of a plane? I don't really want to, but she makes it sound exciting. So we're going to go through here. We've got a couple of questions we're going to ask, and we want to make this just really interactive because I feel like everybody on this panel has such knowledge, and it's going to be just a total blessing to all of you today. So, all right, the first question that I would really like to cover is, like, who are you and how did you get so into health and wellness? Let's just do that real quick. Jan, you're first. Tell me how it began.
Well, a friend of mine asked me how much push-ups I can do. And he said, okay, I should take off my shirt. And before I was even able to speak, I had already the energy enhancer on me. This is something like 15 years ago.
Come on, 15 years ago.
And he said, okay, come on the ground, just do it. And I did something like, to make it really short, 15 more than normal.
15 or 50?
15
okay, 15 more push-ups than normal?
Yeah, and he said, okay, you see a difference? I said, okay, wow. And now you tell me what is in these magic patches. And he said, it's just light. I said, okay.
Wow,
now we're
amazing.
Talking.
Jan, I love that story. Hey, if you guys are not wearing the energy enhancer, I put them on today because I wanted to keep up with this panel. I think David Schmidt says that it is fat oxidation, so it burns our own body fat. Do any of you need to burn any of your own body fat? Raise your hand. A couple of you, okay? The rest of you will pray for you. All right, we're gonna keep going. Let's go. I love you, lady. When she was in the back telling me about just her journey and all you're doing, how did you get started with the patches? How did it begin?
My name is Annie DeCoker, and I'm from Indiana, and I grew up mostly on a farm, so I've always loved horses and gymnastics and diving and volleyball and all sports. And when I was getting involved, my grandfather owned a small airplane, so I've always been comfortable with flying. And a long time ago, I was a flight attendant for Pan Am, and there were two really cute guys on a flight that I was working talking about skydiving. And I was like, what's that? So I found out about it and how I got into wellness. After I was running around in my normal life, having fun, skydiving and working, I had this crazy event where I ended up getting all burned up, 2nd and 3rd degree burns by my own fever. It's a weird thing, but it's caused by a synthetic drug. And so now I can't really take drugs of any, even over-the-counter Advil, Motrin, without feeling afraid that it might happen again. So that's how I got into wellness.
So you were seeking alternative natural solutions.
After that.
Absolutely. Awesome. I love that. Oh, do we look alike, her and I? We get sometimes, let me stand next to her. We kind of look alike. We're about the same size. She's so, when they say, are you her? And I'm like, I will be Laura. She's so beautiful.
Oh,
right?
You're sweet.
We love you, lady.
You're sweet.
Tell us how you got started with the patches.
Oh my gosh. Well, I've been in health and wellness for about 3 decades now. And it was really as a very unexpected personal choice. I was invited to go hear our founder, David Schmidt, speak. And when I sat in that room, my first thing was, how do I get that on my body? Because I knew at that moment I had been exposed to a tool that was going to help my body support itself with total health and wellness. And that's exactly what I was looking for. And then it turned into so much more, because you guys know, sitting out there, how do you know about something like this and not share it with other people?
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Laura. I love it that we have you an acupuncturist, right? In Chinese medicine?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, such wisdom. So tell us how your journey began, Susie.
So my journey began, I originally was a nurse. So I was a nurse for 12 years before I then moved into Chinese medicine. And then it was through, like most people, my own personal experience. After the birth of my daughter, I had a lot of trouble sitting. She did a nice sort of dislocation of my tailbone. And so then putting these patches on, and then I sort of was like, I can sit down, and I can stand up, and I can ride a bike again.
Wow.
And I can start to travel again. So and then I started to use them with my patients and share with them and share with my family. And then it just grew from there. And then I started sharing with other practitioners. So I've sort of built my business by sharing with practitioners and then just using my clinic, and it's just been a wonderful journey to be able to share that.
Wow, awesome, Susie. Thank you for sharing that. Bo, you want to just talk a little bit about how you got started?
I just want to say, first off, how humbled and honored I am to be here with you, health and fitness experts and world-class athletes. It's so amazing to be a part of this. As a former Division I athlete, I just love being able to use the X49 and X39 combination together in my races and in training. So our next question here is, for you, have you found that using these two products together has benefited you in your training and your competition?
Well, I'm not competing by any means, but combining those two patches, you guys, regardless whether you're a weekend warrior or you're a high-level athlete, will change the level in which you function where you are. It will just combine such a greatness for you, make you feel amazing, increase muscle mass, increase endurance and stamina. And again, wherever you are in your life, we all need to level up in that area or that arena. And so they are the two that you want to use every day.
Every day. And I want to touch base, Laura, because in the back you and I were talking about, like, sometimes in bodybuilding, people are bulking, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but when you do X49, it's like the shred city, baby. So you want to elaborate on that?
Well, when people are getting ready for competition, they're bulking. They're working out, they're in the gym 6 to 8 hours a day, they're eating, they're drinking gallons of water, they're on a mission. When they can combine the X49 and X39 together, it starts setting the body up before they're ready to start shredding. Because as many of you have seen,
a 60-day use of that combination has the ability to shred, if you will, up to 11% body fat. So it puts them in that position prior to the need when they actually need to shred out and walk on that stage and compete.
Do any of you want to get shredded? Let me hear you holler if you want to get shredded. A couple of you are picking up on what we're talking about up here. Awesome. How about X39 and 49 for you?
Oh, definitely X39 and 49, and then I kind of alternate that third one, maybe glutathione or eon or carnosine. One of my favorites is carnosine. So the mood, the brain, my attitude is so much easier to get through hard practice. In Florida, where we practice and a lot of our competitions, it's so hot, and I'm small, so I have to wear a lot of weight in my rig, and it's grueling.
Wow.
And so also, it's majority of males, and to try to dissipate that nervous, like I want to perform well, and I want to communicate well, I want to be at ease. And another trick that I just learned recently that helps me teach students with the fear factor is the energy enhancer patch on the left and right, on the lung spots and on the bottom of the feet is a good recipe to help alleviate fear.
Well, let's just say that again a little slower, because do any of you need to dissipate fear or have anybody that you just want to settle down a little bit? So here's the energy enhancer. Give them a little example about where they would put that as you're saying this, because she said in the back, this is remarkable at helping her to just ground herself and get rid of that fear as she's not only training and practicing, but dealing with conversations with young people as she's training them. So where do they go? Show us what you're doing.
White is always on the right. So
white on the right. Yep, we got it. White on the right at the bottom of the foot. White and tan on the left. You guys got that? White right, tan left. Say it out loud. White right, tan left. And then look where she's putting them, right underneath the breasts there. You know, and that right underneath there at the top of that rib cage. And then she's also doing white on the right, tan on the left on the arms. Do you guys see that, what she's doing? Go for it.
The energy, I also need to drive from Indiana to Florida every month. I can go 17 hours in a row driving.
Wow. Yeah. So if any of you are driving long distances, that might be advantageous as well. So she's putting a couple different places on the body to, like David talks about, the acupressure points and acupuncture points, right? Which let's just take it over to you, because now we're talking your language, right? Go for it. Tell me what's going on with that. Why does it seem more effective when she's putting it in those places?
Well, for thousands of years, acupuncture points have been known as sources of energy, and so they are the primal points where you're going to tap into the different channels of the bodies, or what we refer to as the meridians. So those are all connected to your internal organs and then can help them to function and work so much better. So we all know that I've had patients that the mother has forgotten to put the patch on her child and she's just left it in her pocket. And she's come in to me and she said, I felt really good and calm all day. Is it because of that patch? And she didn't have it on an acupuncture point. So they will work anywhere, but, you know, by tapping into the acupuncture points, especially the ones that are just listed in the book, they've been researched, they've been used for thousands of years, and they're proven to work.
Yeah, over 5,000 years, by the way. But I want to say this about that, because if you go to the Lifewave website, the update that they did is so incredible where it actually shows you the exact point. So you don't need to be like Susie, an acupuncture doctor or acupressure doctor. You just have to know how to go to your Lifewave website, click on education, patch placement, and it's actually showing you those places. And I talked to Dr. Karen Cannon. She said they're incredibly accurate, so I'm going to take her word for it as well. But I know that with this new technology that David is showing us this morning, we are going to have some incredible training, I feel, with the visual aid of showing us where to put those exact patches. So thank you for sharing about that. Okay.
I want to say something.
Go for it, Laura.
So, you know, you guys were up here as people of athletic backgrounds, but we also are very much aware that maybe sometimes you can't move. You've got things going on in your life, you can't move, things happen, we get it, we've all been there. But understand with this energy enhancer, that is the prime patch or dual patch system that you want to be using, because it's going to help you turn over your lymphatic system. And if you're sitting too long, for a period of time, you're going to be asking for maybe some other things to come in. So make that a priority when you're unable to move. Make sure you get up every morning and put that energy enhancer set on and know that you're really taking care of yourself.
I love that. Thank you. Hey, the lymphatic system is a system that we got to move with. Like you said, it's all about movement. If you're not moving it, it doesn't move. And when the lymph system is stagnant, that's where disease starts to begin. Okay, guys? So it's really important. I actually learned, what is this one? Lung 1 in Chinese medicine. Come on, I'm getting better. I'm getting better. So, yes, am I doing it right? Right here. Everybody put your fingers right here so you know where it's at. Come on, work with me. A little higher. Okay, a little higher. Okay, a little higher? Okay, right there. All right, not under your armpits, up here, right? And so I've heard that that's an awesome place as well for the energy enhancer. Like first thing in the morning, kind of get that sludge moving, do some deep breathing, all of that. All right, we're going to move on to the next question. I thank you guys. Jan, are you ready for this one?
Depends what you're going to ask.
Well, I'm going to say this. So this guy's in training.
I'm always ready.
Yeah, I know you're always ready. He's in training for life, right? Because you exercise every day. Some days every day?
Well, the thing is, when I don't get the dopamine and I get a bit crumbly and, people don't like it so much, especially the ones who live close with me together, like my partner, so I have to move.
You have to move.
Yeah,
I love it.
Because otherwise I'm unsatisfied. I need this as a kind of dope in my body.
A dope, actual dope, dopamine. Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's where it comes from. That's etymology.
It's good. So of all the patches, which one is your absolute favorite that you feel? I mean, we love X39. How many of you love X39? Give me a cheer. Oh, it begins with X39, baby. But outside of that, because you've been part of this now, what? You've been actively working this business for 10 years, am I right?
Correct.
I mean, 10 years, you guys, okay? So what is your favorite in that length of time? Because X39, of course, just came out, three and a half years ago. What is your favorite patch out of all of them in addition to X39?
Well, in the end, it's really the energy enhancer, because you can use it, if you want to go to sleep, you sleep better with the energy enhancer. You sleep deeper. And you want to have more power during the day, use the energy enhancer. Wow. You want to prevent illness, lift up the frequency in your cells, and you will going to improve your immune system, so use the energy enhancer. Whatever you do, this is a basic for me, always.
Wow.
And of course, X39, X49 is always, of course, great combination. I usually combine them together.
Yep.
After the Corona time, I had a body fat of 14%. This is quite a lot, I think. And I came down within 2 months to 11.9 again.
Jeez, this guy's a lean machine.
And I didn't do so much. It's more these patches which do this automatically.
Yeah, they're changing your energy, right?
Yeah.
They're improving the energy flow of the body, which is something we can all say. Do you guys know we can say that? That's compliant. We're improving the energy flow of the body.
Absolutely. When I do an interview, for example, in a television, I put energy enhancer on for better concentration. I only use the Lung 1 points in the end. And when I have to go in the night to party, whatever, and I had a hard, long day of working, good working, fun working, but nevertheless it takes energy.
Yep.
I put them underneath my foot on the kidney 1 points, and you can dance like John Travolta.
You can dance like John Travolta. Some of you should have been having those on last night at the party. Don't worry, there'll be more time to dance. Thank you for sharing all that, Jan. Okay, so let's move on to another question. We've got
I have a question for Annie. So, as a world-class skydiver, athletes are always monitoring their performance and trying to smash personal best records. So, have you found using the Lifewave products has entered your journey to hitting new PBs in your sport?
Has wearing the patches helped you to just improve your personal best, your personal...
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like part of that is the ability to focus. There's a really cool side effect for the X39 in a very hard to articulate, subtle way in your mood, and to allow you to rise above all of the distractions and the chatter of the world. And I don't know how many of you know me, but I'm easily distracted, like bright light, squirrel. So in skydiving, and especially in competition, when I'm able to really focus more intently, it helps me a lot, which I feel like the mental focus, I feel it when I'm doing the X39 and the Shine, and also the Eon helps with the sore muscles.
Oh, I love the Shine. Don't even get me started with the Shine. But I want to say one more thing. When she said earlier when she goes to practice, I'm like, how do you practice being a skydiver? Do you just keep jumping out of planes? Is that your practice? Yeah, practicing is jumping out of the plane. I mean, so she hasn't done this 11 times. She's done it like 11,000 times, guys.
The
It's
type of
incredible.
skydiving that I do isn't normal free fall. We're not just falling. We open our parachute right away. So we have our parachutes open, and then we take our life-saving device and we fly it into our friends, and we connect together. So it takes a lot of upper body strength to maneuver into like a moving parking space that's moving through the sky. We make big diamonds and formations like that on the clock. So we're maneuvering. It's a lot.
Come on, and I'm just gonna say one more thing about this gal. She just got her Lifewave parachute. How cool is the Lifewave parachute? We're gonna be like, let's give her a cheer for that. We're gonna see her soaring over the sky in the Lifewave. Lifewave is gonna be known throughout the skies because she just got the Lifewave parachute. I'm like, I want a picture of that. That's so cool, right? All right, let's keep asking these questions because they're great. So your favorite patch, like outside of X39?
You know that is so hard. That's so hard. You know, I'm going to say Eon.
Eon, yep.
You know,
we got one fan.
You know, whether you're a high-level athlete or you're not, your body is going through things every day. An athlete is beating themselves up. You know, to be in the gym 6 to 8 hours a day, that level of inflammation that is accompanied with that is very high. Yeah. Right? And then you add on our day-to-day world that we're exposed to all the things, and we don't need to list those, right? Because we'd be up here for hours. But that Eon patch is something that should be worn every day. Yeah. It's a, you know, we like to call the X39 and the Eon the dynamic duo.
Yeah.
You know, that's always a jumping off point for us. And then to add in the glutathione, which is really, for me, dear to my heart. But I think if you do X39, Eon, and glutathione, you have a triple threat. You have a badge of armor. Wow. And you should go out in the world every day with at least those three on. Absolutely.
Oh, I love it, Laura. And now I just want to say this. When I heard David Schmidt say on one of his webinars, my two patches I will never, ever go without is X39 and Eon, I was like, I want to be like David Schmidt. So yeah. I'm not going to go without X39 and Eon. And I'm just going to say this. The stress is real. How many of you have a little stress coming here? Yeah. Families, dogs, aging parents, lining everything up, taking off of work. And the stress is real. So for me, just knowing that you can put that patch on, and clinically, we've seen the science, guys. The science is all there over these 90 clinical studies that Lifewave has, that it will actually bring our body back to the parasympathetic state within 15 to 30 minutes. And if you don't understand what that means, I like to give the example of if I'm going to my garage and I'm going to change the oil in my car, and I go out into the garage and the car's turned on and there's a brick on the gas pedal, that's called the sympathetic state, the cortisol-driven state. I think the world has thrown us into that. The last 4 years of media has made everybody just so wild, right? And so they're caught in that brick on the gas pedal state. So as soon as we put that Eon patch on, you guys, I mean, within 15 to 30 minutes, it's like we pulled the brick off the gas pedal and we shut the car off. And now we can actually change the oil. And remember, the body will only repair really thoroughly when it's in the rest and repair or rest and digest state. It does not do a good job of healing when it's in a cortisol-driven state. So we got to get it back over to that rest and repair, okay? You want to elaborate a little bit on that? I could feel that she's like, oh, I'm thinking, she's wanting to say something.
Yeah, my favorite patch combination is actually the Eon and the Spleen 6 patch. Oh. So Spleen 6 is often a forgotten about patch, but it's one of my favorites because the Eon, so much of weight, particularly in our society, we have a lot of problems with. And a lot of it is related to stress. Yeah. And so by using the Eon, it can help, improve sleep. So then you're able to produce your hormones better that regulate your sleep. Reducing your stress levels stops that weight that's being used, that appears around the belly. But then if you combine it with that Spleen 6, which is designed to actually help balance your appetite, you don't get those cravings. So with the Eon, you're not getting the emotional eating, and then with the Spleen 6, you're not getting that physical craving. Wow. I find that a lot of my clients that come back in really, really find that they're like, I feel so much calmer, and I just happen to have lost 2 kilos or about 5 pounds as well. Wow. Amazing. So that's a really great combination that a lot love to use.
I think anytime you increase the energy of the body, like good things are going to happen. And I've read the study in SP6. Put it on stomach 36 right there, right, girl? But I've read that study, and it said it actually increased organ functioning up to like 98% in some of the organs, 89% in the others. I mean, it was incredible. So what comes first? Increasing organ functioning or the weight loss? You got to increase that organ functioning and make it function better, right? More effectively. And then we're not telling you it's a weight loss miracle. We don't treat, cure, prevent, or talk about disease. We talk about health, right?
Yes.
But it does do amazing things, whether it's the X39 or SP6 combination. I love you talking about that patch. Not a lot of people talk about it, so it's a blessing.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you so much. All right, final question, you guys. Are you ready for this? Let me get back to it. All right, so let's go with this one. When we're looking at this, what advice would you have for someone looking to make the jump into a healthy lifestyle in utilizing these patches or any other forms of, health modalities that you'd like to tell people? What? And you start down there. Yeah. What would you like to tell everybody to do?
As well as using the patches, you also need to drink plenty of water, make sure you're hydrated, get outside every day, and, simple tasks of just walking and actually get out and enjoy the sunshine.
Absolutely. Thank you. Laura?
You have to get your food right, and you have to take sugar out of your diet. Yeah.
People have said they crave less sugar, I've heard, when they put the X39 and even the SP6 on.
Yeah.
So I've heard that.
But don't put that on and go eat a piece of cake. It doesn't work that way, right? So if you can get your nutrition right, cut back on the sugar, get the breads and pastas out. If you have to have bread, go sourdough, okay?
Yeah, good job.
But if you can get your nutrition right, everything will start to fall in place with you because you're going to clean the body up.
Yeah.
You're going to improve that cleanup by using the glutathione, okay? That's a must. You got to clean it up or nothing's going to come off.
Right.
Right?
Love
Toxins reside in your fat cells.
Yep.
And they hold on so tight sometimes, no matter any workout you do, you're not going to see movement because you're dirty. You're toxic.
Yeah, we're getting you cleaned
Okay.
out. How about you, girl? Tell me what any final advice or tips you have with patches or any other thing to peak performance and improve their health?
I feel like just like our friend John just taught us, action. Anything that you're not doing now is because you're not out of your comfort zone. So it's scary to get out of your comfort zone, no matter what it is. For me, I had a time where I couldn't bend or bear weight, or maybe you can't get out of the house. Maybe your wheelchair doesn't fit. Like, I've had that.
Yep.
So action, and that has to do with your environment. And our cells love and positive energy. So try to surround yourself with the people that feed the good stuff and the positive, the love, and try to walk away from the negativity and put your environment in a growth place.
I love it. Our cells love love. And Jan, tell us some final words of wisdom?
Well, in the end, we're carrying around the healthiest pharmacy on the planet, which is our own muscles. We just have to activate them from time to time. And this is going to help us to improve all our health problems or qualities which we want to improve. And if you just do it 3 times a week for, let's say, 10 or 15 minutes, you already do really good for your body. You just have to move your ass a little bit and shake it and bring it in action. You feel better, you get younger. Put on in the healthy diet, of course, a lot of proteins, because how you want to build up muscles when you only eat carbohydrates will not work. So it's really easy, you just have to do it.
Awesome,
And
I love it, Jan.
when you then already start to get sleep, which is around 7 to 8 hours, and your body can really recover, you're also building muscles during the sleep. And I mean, this is the easiest way to do it. You just have to patch and relax.
We have the best internal pharmacy. He got it right. And the final thing I want to say about that is you'll never regret giving it your very best wherever you're at, right, guys? You never look back and say, oh, I'm so sad I gave it my very best. So maybe your best right now, like you mentioned, maybe they're in a wheelchair. Maybe you can't move your legs. Maybe you just punch your arms. Maybe you just, let's circle our wrists right now. Y'all should start moving right now. You're just sitting too long here. Everybody go ahead and do it. I'm looking at you. I can see you, actually. I've got good eyes. I wear the patch. And so circle that and circle your ankles a little bit. Just little things. I lay in bed in the morning and I'm actually circling all my ankles to get that synovial fluid moving because that actually helps reduce arthritis. And Bo, any final thoughts before we celebrate some more?
I would say just take plenty of electrolytes too, because they combine so well with these patches. So you're going to be feeling your best taking lots of electrolytes with them. So
Yeah, electrolytes help the energy actually get into the cell, the hydration to get in the cell. So if you're drinking a bunch of water and just peeing like a racehorse, guess what? That means you need electrolytes, because electrolytes in your body actually move all of that hydration into the cellular level so it can actually perform and work better. So if you're feeling like the patches are not performing well enough for you, increase your electrolytes. Would we all agree on that? One more thing, go ahead.
One more thing. When you're getting ready to join a team, you have confidence in this team because of our leader. Everything comes from him down, and we have all the confidence in him and all this, the product and the science. It's solid.
Yes, and when I heard that everything rises and falls on leadership, that John Maxwell said that, I'm like, well, we've got the best leader on the planet with David Schmidt. How many of you can agree? You guys, let's give it up for this panel today, and I want you on your feet, because we're gonna move. Get up. You guys ready? Get up. You guys ready? You guys ready? Let's put our hands up here. Woo. Oh, here. Up. Oh. Oh, shake your hips a little bit. You know you wanna. Come on. Done. Woo. Woo. Shake those hips. Oh, you guys look good. Oh, you look amazing. Smile. Woo. Woo. Take your hands. Push them straight up. Interlace them. Lean back. Look up. Woo. Side to side. Right here, guys. Right here. Come on, do it with me. Woo. Woo. You got it? Got it? Awesome, you guys. Oh, no, don't sit down. Don't sit down. You ready, Bo? You guys ready? Get with me. Get with me. Let me see it. Jaime. Got it? You guys ready? Bo? Up, up. Come on, you got it. Do it with me. Let's go, Bo. You guys got it? Arms up, up, down, down, up, down, down. 4 more. 3 more. You got it. 2 more. Whoop, whoop. How about heels? Heels, heels, heels. Come on. She's got it right there. Yeah, baby. Come on. Come on. Right here. Oh, you look good. Oh, you look so good. Whoop, whoop. Got it? Here. Take your hands, stretch them forward. All the way, and up. Look up again. Right here, right here. Whoop, whoop. Yeah. Oh my goodness, you look awesome. Back down here. Tuck them under your butt. Lift your chest up. Look up. Let's take our head left, right. Whoop, whoop. Moving that neck. You got it? Right here. Little punches. Come on, you boxers in the house. Here. Low. You got it, baby. You got it, baby. Whoop. Now top and bottom, ready? Up. You guys know it now. You know it. Oh, yeah. Woo. Here. Low. Left. Yeah. Nice. Nice. Come on, some of you getting a little sweaty with me. Last time. Last time. We love you guys. You can do it. God bless you. Woo.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of our Lifewave family, please help us welcome to the stage founder, CEO, and inventor of the Lifewave technology, David Schmidt.
Up a crowd before, but that's ridiculous. I don't know what I was thinking when I agreed to follow Renita and Bo Brannon. Another round of applause for them, everybody. They were amazing, right? Yeah. Okay, well, because this is the heart-to-heart convention, not surprisingly, we're going to do a product training on the heart and the cardiovascular system. We are going to be covering a tremendous amount of information. So I'm going to go very quickly through these slides. So I would advise on some of them, you take a picture because there's going to be a lot of links, and there was just simply no way to fit all of this information on single slides. So fair warning. Okay, now when we're going to talk about the heart, and we're going to take a look at what can we do to prevent or reverse cardiovascular disease, we need to have a mindset about this. How are we going to be thinking about it? So to think about heart disease, I'd like you to think about the Titanic. All right, we're off to a bad start. Guys, I know you were looking up here, and you weren't looking at your wife or your girlfriend. And by the way, when I refer to a woman, I'm referring to a person with ovaries, okay? Just so we can all be clear. Okay. Or whatever they're called. But yeah, if you if you looked at your wife or your girlfriend, I guarantee they were just thinking of the movie Titanic, right? They're thinking about the movie Titanic, not what we're going to be talking about, and they're like, oh my God, I love that movie, right? It's so sweet, it's so romantic. And every guy in here, correct me if I'm wrong, was thinking, I hate that movie. It's horrible. Because every guy in here knows that if he was on the Titanic, he would have been the one hanging off the edge of the ship as it's about to go into the water, and he was in a tuxedo because you wanted to get dressed up that night. All right? That's why we don't like the movie Titanic. But no, when it comes to heart disease, what we want to think about is that the iceberg is way out there, and that's heart disease. And we need to be able to see and predict that, okay, at some point in the future, because heart disease is still the #1 killer, we want to enact prevention today. So just like, okay, we see the iceberg out there, we need to slow down, we need to make a turn so we can avoid the accident. We don't want to go to a doctor and then have the doctor tell us, okay, well, you've got heart disease, now we have to get you ready for surgery, we have to put you on medication. You don't want to wait to that point. You have to say, okay, at some point after the age of 30, your risk of heart disease is going to go up each year. And it is completely preventable, and it's completely reversible. So let's talk about how we're going to do that. And of course, like everything that we do when we do Lifewave Connect, when we do these webinars, there's going to be plenty of references, so it's going to be based on clinical literature and also practical experience. Okay, so the first thing, let's talk a little bit about the human heart. It's actually very interesting in the sense that we normally think of the heart as being a pump, right? We're going to be pumping blood, and of course it does that, but the majority of the energy is actually used for warming the blood. So when we're thinking about some things we think we might know about the cardiovascular system, it's interesting to step back and say, well, sometimes we may not know everything that we thought. Another very interesting thing about the human heart is that it has an extremely powerful energy field. And it's measurable with something called the squid magnetometer. It's a superconducting magnetic device that was invented back in the 1960s. And this energy field around the human heart is about 100 times more powerful than the field produced by the brain. So we can use these techniques to quantify and measure the electromagnetic system around the heart and the brain, and also look at the shape of these fields. We'll talk about that in just a second. It's called magnetocardiography. And what's important about this is that the shape of the field, if it changes in a detrimental way based off of a standard, we can predict heart disease many, many years before you actually have a problem. It's similar to medical infrared imaging. Medical infrared imaging can detect vascularization of breast tissue, as an example, years before a woman gets breast cancer. So this allows us to come up with strategies to reverse this pathology before it becomes a serious problem. So these are very, very important tools. Now, of course, we're going to associate the emotion of love with the heart. So what is the relationship between spirituality and the heart? And normally we might think of this as being something esoteric, but I don't really think so. I think things that are esoteric, mystical, are really a science that hasn't been discovered yet. So let me show you what I mean by this. The Old Testament, of course in Christianity, it's all kind of relative. In Christianity, the book of Genesis is in the Old Testament, and then of course there's the New Testament after the birth of Christ. So in the Old Testament, let's say we were going to take a look at, it was written of course in Hebrew, New Testament was written in Greek, and the interesting thing about both of those languages is that each letter in those alphabets can be converted into a numerical value. So let's say that we're talking about the heart. What is the Hebrew word for heart? It's lev. Okay, doesn't seem like much so far. But if we convert lev over to a number, we come up with the number 32. Okay, what do we know about the number 32? Well, first, it's a number that's known for balance and harmony and peace, like you might expect. Nothing unusual there. But if we look at the King James Bible, and the reason I'm going to use this version is because many people consider it to be mathematically pure and the inspired word of God. So if we were to look at it this way, right? So let's say if there really is a God and creator, then you would expect that God would be the best mathematician, physicist, biochemist that ever existed, and God would leave a signature someplace. So when we look at the Bible, if it really is the inspired word of God, then there should be a mathematical code there, a fingerprint that God left behind. So what's interesting is that the word heart in Hebrew, of course, appeared 765 times. Now, I like to play around with math and look for patterns. So when you're going to invent something and you want to create something new, you make observations about systems, especially living systems, and then you see, are there any type of patterns that we can follow? And the interesting thing is that if you take that 765 and you add each number individually, and you keep doing that until we get a number between 0 and 9, 9 means fulfillment. Okay, interesting. What else can we say? Okay, now let's just use the first 5 books of the Old Testament. So what I thought was, okay, let's take the number of times the word heart appears in the Old Testament. So you can see here in book of Genesis, 11 times, Exodus 37 times, and so forth. It appears exactly 100 times. Now, if you take the number of times it appears and then divide it by 32, the numerical value of heart, then you get those numbers in that last column, and then you add them up, and you get 3.125. Okay. Let's do the same thing now, and what we'll do is we'll take the number of times that it appears instead of individually but in passages, then it's 92 times, and if you add them up, it's 2.875. Doesn't seem like anything yet. However, if we take the number of times the word appears, add the number of passages, it equals 6, to get the average is 3. And then in the Bible, the number 3 represents God's presence in something. So we start to see something here, that the word heart can be distilled through a series of mathematical calculations down to a number which represents God's involvement. So anytime you see the number 3 in the Bible, it always means God is involved in something. Okay, maybe you're not convinced yet. Let's take the number of times that it appears in the passages, 100 plus 92, 192, 1 plus 9 plus 2 equals 12, 1 plus 2 equals 3. God's involvement again. Let's take the number of times the word appears plus the number of passages. 192 divided by 2 is 96. 96 equals 32, which is the number for the heart, multiplied by 3, which is God's involvement. There are 426 verses in the Bible with the word 3. 4 plus 2 plus 6 equals 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3. God's involvement. You getting the point? Okay. I'm going to tell you why this matters, is because when you come back next year, you're going to see how we use these formulas and equations to create new technology that reverses human aging. Okay. That's a spoiler. Okay. So what's an example of how we can apply this? Well, actually, I have a patent. There's a whole series of patents on pulsed electromagnetic field therapy. And one of the things that we did was we took an electronic stethoscope and we put it over the 4 chambers of the heart. And then we took that signal and we put it through a signal generator, we put it through an amplifier, and we fed that back through this coil. So this electromagnetic field that was external to the body was beating with the human heart. It's a little bit complicated, so what that means is it's not something you'd really have in your home and you could use it that way. But what we were doing with this was regenerating nerve damage, peripheral nerve damage. And we found it to be very, very effective. So there's actually ways that we can take this math and apply it in the real world to heal. All right, now let's talk about the enemy. Let's talk about heart disease. And of course, what we want to do is understand first what is the problem that we're trying to tackle here. So we know that atherosclerosis is going to be a thickening of the arterial walls, stiffening of the arteries over time, accumulation of plaque, reduced blood flow. And this is something which is not inevitable, but if you're dealing with this problem now, we want to, or if you're interested in preventing it, then the question is, what is it that we need to do, and how did you get into that circumstance in the first place? And unfortunately, let's see if this is not working, unfortunately. Or is it? Oh, there we go. With current medical treatments, so you go see your medical doctor. Doctor says, well, you have clogged arteries, essentially, and so you're a candidate for bypass surgery. We have to put you on drugs. Maybe you're going to get put on statins, which have undesirable side effects. And it's unlikely, because I'm not knocking medical doctors. Most don't get the training that they need to look at putting one of their patients on an exercise program, on diet and nutrition, the value of supplements. They just simply most don't get trained in those disciplines. So they're going to recommend what they are taught in medical school, which is going to be surgery and drugs. So this, of course, is what this looks like if you essentially look at a pipe, and then the inner diameter of that pipe gets smaller and smaller over time. There's going to be reduced blood flow, and then ultimately, of course, blood flow is blocked entirely, and this is something we absolutely have to avoid because that could result in a heart attack or a stroke. So, of course, there's current treatments for heart disease, as we already talked about. And these things are fine if someone needs surgery, if it's life-threatening, then maybe there's not time to reverse the condition, but the whole idea behind this is we don't want to get to that point in the first place. So, of course, the problem with this approach is that someone goes to see their doctor and it's already too late. The medical doctor is not thinking about necessarily prevention. Not most of them. You have medical doctors, of course, that are clinical nutritionists, they're acupuncturists as well, and they're going to be looking at these therapies. So I'm definitely not knocking medical doctors. This is more a commentary on the system of indoctrination in medical school of what is lacking. So again, we can use an analogy behind this. It's like, do you want to go to see a mechanic and get an oil change, get new tires, get these things taken care of as preventatives, or do you want to wait until your engine seizes and you've run out of oil, or your tires go bald before you start to correct it? Okay, the choice is pretty obvious, is that we want to do the preventative maintenance on the human body so we don't end up in this situation. So, a little bit of a disclaimer first. I am not a medical doctor. I'm not giving medical advice. We don't claim that our products treat, cure, or mitigate any disease in human beings or animals. And these recommendations are for you to simply say, wow, this is very, very interesting research. I need to take this research to my healthcare practitioner so they can recommend what will work for me in my situation. Is that fair? Come on. Is that fair? All right. Fantastic. Great. Okay. So let's look at some of the causes first of heart disease. Most of these are going to be pretty self-evident. We're going to start with lack of exercise. And a good reason to start with this is that the clinical data is overwhelmingly positive that exercise is better than any type of pharmaceutical drug when it comes to preventing and reversing heart disease, bar none. So any strategy that is going to include preventing or reversing heart disease by default has to include some type of exercise. It can be if you have some weight to lose, it can be just something as simple as walking, getting the body moving, starting off slow and working up, and then preferably doing combination of resistance training and cardio. Lack of proper nutrition is obvious. If you saw that movie Super Size Me, where the guy was eating McDonald's 3 times a day, after like 2 weeks, he was practically dead. Right? So we have to be thinking about our nutrition. What are we putting in our bodies? That's absolutely critical. The natural aging process. Our body is going to be a little bit more prone to detrimental effects from aging. And so this is why techniques to reverse the human aging process are so very necessary, because we can use it as a way to mitigate serious disease. Genetics, of course, plays a role. Medications make people more likely to get heart disease or ironically die as a result of taking the medication. And then, of course, physical and emotional stress. Okay. Here's an interesting study on exercise. We won't go through the whole thing now in the interest of time. But basically what this says is that if you're exercising, either doing low intensity or high intensity, you're going to be significantly reducing your risk of cardiovascular disease. And again, no surprise there. VO2 max. So VO2 max refers to the ability of our muscles to use oxygen. How effectively do we take oxygen that's in the blood and then turn it over into usable work? The better the VO2 max, the healthier the cardiovascular system, right? And that inherently is going to make sense. But what's also really important here as a concept is that if you were to take the population and you were to look at a scale of people that were terribly out of shape, that were in a disease state, and then people that were Olympic athletes, what happens is that if you move people from the very low end, even up into the middle range, you are significantly reducing that person's risk of having a heart attack or stroke. So what this means is that when we're thinking about mindset on this, what type of goals do you have to set in terms of exercise? You don't have to think in terms of, oh, I've got to exercise like a professional athlete or an Olympic athlete in order to be completely healthy. No, that's not it at all. What it means is that if you're getting yourself into a reasonable degree of shape, each step that you take in the right direction is going to continue to reverse your odds of getting a serious event like a heart attack or stroke. So these things are obviously really important. Okay, I think we've kind of covered this a little bit, but I want you to take a look at the very last sentence there. The summary hazard ratio for mortality, comparing the slowest with the fastest quarter of walking speed, was 2.87. So this is a remarkable reduction in risk of heart disease. Okay, so the bottom line here is anytime you're going to make a serious change in your diet, in your exercise, you want to be guided by your healthcare practitioner because they're going to know what's best for your specific situation, especially if you have a pre-existing condition. So if you don't have training in this, definitely work with a trained healthcare practitioner. Okay, so let's take one more look at this so we know what we're dealing with, but this is a pretty good picture of what happens over time. So for people that are young and healthy, arterial wall looks normal, there's no accumulation of plaque, and then over time, this plaque will accumulate. There's a whole variety of reasons, by the way, for why this happens, but suffice it to say that it does. So there's early warning signs. That's a good thing. Now, guys, I have bad news for you and kind of good news. The good news is that if you have erectile dysfunction, it's an early warning sign of heart disease, so you can go ahead and do something. The bad news is, I'm sorry to hear you have erectile dysfunction. But that's something, it's a little bit, we refer to it as the canary in the coal mine. That is about 60% of the time, it is going to be a symptom of cardiovascular disease. So another percentage of time, let's say it's psychological, but the majority of the time, it's an early sign that there's heart disease. Of course, poor circulation. If you're having problem with your extremities, they're getting cold, that's going to be an indication that the cardiovascular system isn't doing what it's supposed to. High blood pressure, of course, is fairly obvious, chest pain, and so forth. So, and by default, as the amount of weight that you have around your waist increases, further risk of heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. So the good news is that there's warning signs here, and we don't have to really guess as to whether or not we're prone. The other way to look at this, too, is that as we get over the age of 30, 35, we should be proactively engaged in proper exercise, diet, nutritional supplements, patches, to reduce our risk of having a heart attack or stroke as much as possible. Okay, so then how would we characterize some of these things? And the reason why this is important is that if we can, like when I'm looking to invent something, I want to create a detailed map of the problem to define the problem. Because if you can't articulate, if you can't define the problem, then how are you going to come up with a solution? So in things like age reversal, you want to understand what is really going inside the cell. We can look at mitochondrial function. We can look at the potential, the electrical potential around the cell. There's epigenetic changes that occur, so changes in gene expression. The ability of the cell to detoxify. We look at the phase angle around the cell membrane. These and other measures are an important way to define the aging process. So as we define the aging process, then we can look at each one and say, okay, how exactly could I go about enhancing mitochondrial function? And then if we do that, what effect is that going to have on gene expression over time? And ultimately, is that going to result in lengthening telomeres? Is it going to result in beneficial changes in gene expression? And then so ultimately, do we see reversal of the age of the cell? And this is actually a relatively long process. We were doing a study, I don't know if I should say this. What the heck. We were doing a study on to see if any of our patches would lengthen telomeres. And what we found is that if we looked at 3 months post using this patch, you couldn't see any change in the telomeres. But at 6 months, you began to see those changes. In age reversal, you have to go about 6 to 9 months of using a product before we actually start to see beneficial changes in gene expression. So some of these changes are going to show up in a relatively short period of time. There are effects which we can measure in the metabolism of the cell by doing blood and urine testing that will show up within minutes, bioelectrical tests that show up within less than 1 minute, but then other things are going to be much, much longer, 6-9 months. So it's important that we look at these things from the point of view of you start on an exercise program, you start taking supplements, you start using patches. There's going to be effects that you're going to see immediately, like reduction in pain, improvement in range of motion. There's going to be other effects that will show up over a period of a few weeks, such as 3 to 6 weeks, improvements in cognition. And then there's other effects yet that are going to show up over a period of many months. So it's important to be very, very consistent with these programs. Don't start a program and then a week or two later stop because you didn't think something worked the way that you wanted it to. This is about, a lifetime commitment to health and wellness. Okay. So how could we go about then reversing heart disease? Let's get right to it. And we want to do this, of course, as natural a means as possible and hopefully avoid surgery and avoid medications. Okay, so we're going to skip through this one very quickly with exercise. But needless to say, there is a direct correlation between human aging and strength and stamina. The correlation is extremely clear that if you want to have a long health span and stay healthy and strong for as long a period of time, you must exercise. There's no other way to go about it, because if you're in your 70s and you're not exercising and you've had significant sarcopenia, reduction in muscle mass, that's also going to translate into a reduction in bone density. And then, of course, the first time you fall, you may have an accident that you may or may not recover from, and that recovery is going to take a long period of time. You may see something next year that will solve that problem. I think that's a fair tease. Okay. So, talk to your doctor about starting slow. Get into a program that is going to work for your lifestyle. Don't try to, become an Olympic athlete your first week. All right, start off slow and then make progression. It can be something as simple as walking 20 or 30 minutes a couple of times a week. If you want to get a little bit more aggressive, then start doing Tabatas, which are phenomenal. And definitely get into resistance training. Again, it doesn't have to be anything complicated. It can be body weight exercises to start, and then hopefully you're going to be weight training. By the way, a very interesting study that was done in Russia on lifting very, very heavy weights in a static hold. It found that when you're going to do an exercise like a static squat or a static bench press with heavy weight, the pressure from the weight put on the bone causes stem cells in the bones to come out into the blood and the lymphatic system. So this exercise, as it turns out, especially heavy resistance training, is a way to increase the number of circulating stem cells in the body. Okay. Now, Lifewave patches, this combination of X39 and X49 was talked about a little bit before, and you can find this study in our back office, so we're just going to skip through it quickly now. But basically, when you're embarking on an exercise program, you want to make sure that you're getting adequate protein in your diet several times per day. Especially, you need to be acutely activating mTOR. So mTOR is what's turning on muscle protein synthesis, and so you want to have about depending on your age, about 3 to 4 grams of the amino acid leucine in that protein serving. So if you're a vegan or a vegetarian, your protein source is going to be lower in leucine. If you're consuming things like whey protein, red meat, you're going to have a higher amount of leucine. But you could be consuming 20 or 30 grams of protein, and if you don't have enough leucine, you're not turning on muscle protein synthesis, and you're not going to be building new muscle, even if you're exercising and you think you're eating right. But when you use a tool like the patches, it's going to dramatically increase the rate at which you're going to improve your strength and stamina. Okay, and here's some other figures here of X49 only versus the combination of the two. And there's a really nice study about this in our back office. Okay. And the really nice thing about this is that X39 and X49 complement one another. X39, I used to be able to say this. I'm not technically supposed to say this anymore. So I think what I can say is that X39 works on the entire body and X49 is more selective, right? But the bottom line is that it'll make you leaner and stronger. Okay, and this is an example of a 74-year-old on the before and after. Okay, let's keep things moving here. And let's talk about nutrition, hardening or stiffening of the arteries. Okay, vitamin D. There was an age reversal study that I saw recently that involved 5 different substances. One was zinc, the other was vitamin D. Another one was growth hormone. Another compound that was used was metformin. But in any case, the reason I bring this up is that it was shown that through the combination of these materials over a period of 9 months, the average reduction in human age was 6.5 years. So vitamin D should not be underestimated. 50,000 IUs of vitamin D daily, which is only to be used for a short period of time, and if you have a problem with your kidneys, you shouldn't take this much. And you should always do this under the advice of your healthcare practitioner. But vitamin D at 50,000 IUs per day has been used successfully for treating cancer. 50,000 IUs of vitamin D daily has been used successfully to push viruses out of the body. And that information would be helpful for people to know, but unfortunately, some of the powers that be want to suppress freedom of speech and not let you know that. But of course, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 IUs of vitamin D daily is safe for most people, and unequivocally this is shown to improve the elasticity of the arteries. Okay, what about accumulation of plaque? This is a big one. If you go see your medical doctor and they've had conventional training, one of the things they're going to say is that there's nothing you can do to remove arterial plaque, and that is just absolutely false. Very simple materials have been demonstrated in clinical studies, and there's a whole list of studies there that you can reference, have been successful at removing arterial plaque over a period of time. Generally, in these studies, you see that they last about 6 to 9 months. But even simple substances like an extract of garlic, pomegranate extract, the enzyme in pomegranates, has been shown to digest arterial plaque and improve blood flow. Especially pomegranate extract is so interesting because a study that was done, which was posted by Life Extension, had shown that individuals that took a pomegranate extract over a period of 9 months were able to avoid bypass surgery. So these are the type of things that we're interested in. Vitamin K, MK7, and MK4 are other materials that are known to remove arterial plaque. So this notion that we age and there's nothing that we can do to improve the health of our heart is just absolute nonsense. Okay. Oh, one other thing I wanted to bring up was omega-3s. So, of course, often when we think of omega-3s and their value, what we're thinking about is that we take the omega-3 orally and it will prevent plaque from sticking to the arterial walls. Well, here was an interesting study just recently that was showing that injections of omega-3s could prevent heart disease entirely. The author of that study, by the way, insinuated that this could reverse heart disease, but they didn't want to go that far. But there was data in the study to actually show that. All right, how about reduced blood flow? This is an important one because if you have, if you're someone sitting here today and you have you've neglected your body for a long period of time and you already have this problem, what you're going to be thinking about is something like, okay, I have high blood pressure through restricted blood flow as a result of having accumulation of arterial plaque. My doctor has told me if I don't change, I'm going to be a candidate for bypass surgery. So what do I do? Okay, so let's take a look at this. Nitric oxide, okay? There's any number of different ways of elevating nitric oxide. There's a whole host of things. Many studies have actually shown that beets are one of the best ways, compared to supplementation, of naturally elevating nitric oxide. Pycnogenol, which is a pine bark extract, is another good way to do it. And for kind of like a 1-2 punch here, the combination of garlic and vitamin C has been shown to increase nitric oxide levels by about 300% over baseline. So you get the benefit of reducing the arterial plaque and improving blood flow all in the same combination of using those two. There's another one that's really good, which is black ginger extract. That's something from Thailand. It's relatively uncommon, but you can get it. And that does a great job of improving nitric oxide and blood flow. And these are things that go to work immediately, by the way. They'll also, not surprisingly, many of those things, because they're elevating nitric oxide, people will see almost an immediate reduction in their blood pressure. So this brings up another question. If there is an accumulation of arterial plaque, then there's going to be damage to the endothelial lining. What do we do about that? I wanted to mention this one enzyme specifically, which is nattokinase. Now, nattokinase is it's a natural enzyme, and it's found in fermented soy. And very quickly, this was discovered in Japan. And what was found was that people that were consuming natto had a much lower risk of heart disease than a control population. And so it was quickly found that nattokinase was the active compound. Well, sure enough, if you take nattokinase, it will improve blood flow, it will prevent and reverse heart disease, but nattokinase more recently has been shown to digest viruses like those that are related to COVID. Oh, I guess I can't say that. Okay. It rhymes with a virus that rhymes with schmovid. All right. So that's an important one. So one of the things, as an example, that you could include in your daily regimen, which would be for everyone, no matter how good a shape you're in, is nattokinase. And the reason for that is that it will help to reduce your risk of heart attack, reduce your risk of stroke, improve blood flow, reduce your risk of neuropathy, and eventually we're all going to get COVID again because this is going to be around forever now. But the good thing is that we can adopt strategies that prevent us from showing any symptoms, right? You guys do know that they're putting the mRNA vaccine in food now, right? And in animals and that kind of stuff. Yeah, so we need to be thinking about these things that when they're not telling us they're in food and it's going to get into our bodies, what can we do to destroy the spike protein? So fortunately, God and nature have already provided solutions for us. We just need to go out and use them. Okay. So let's look at inflammatory stress. Another thing that, of course, works very, very well for COVID is NAC, and it actually works so well that here in the United States, the FDA tried to take it off the market, and it's relatively speaking, a natural compound. But not surprisingly, anything that is going to reduce inflammatory stress in the body, which would be antioxidants, coenzyme Q10, NAC, vitamin C, for serious cases of heart disease, 10 grams up to 70 grams IV of vitamin C is used. And then something that's very, very successful at treating cancer as well as heart disease is the combination of DMSO and curcumin by IV or taking it orally. Okay, then for high blood pressure, this is, of course, it's a big one and actually has a very, very easy solution. The first thing that I want to mention is the combination of taurine and magnesium. Any of the recommendations that we showed before on elevating nitric oxide are going to work at helping to reduce blood pressure. But the clinical studies on taurine show that it's more effective than pharmaceutical drugs at lowering blood pressure. And it's a common amino acid. The other thing about taurine, this is something that we study in our lab and we devote research to because it appears, based on human data now, that if you want to extend your lifespan and also stay younger in the process, you should be supplementing with taurine. Animal studies and human studies are starting to indicate that it could be a 20 to 25% increase in lifespan using taurine. And I think what we'd say is that the mechanism of action is not entirely well understood. But the short-term benefits of taurine are really enormous. They're going to improve cognition, improve the health of the heart, and for men, they can also play a role in supporting healthy testosterone levels. So there's many good reasons for using taurine, but it will at doses of, let's say, 2 to 4 grams daily, and I wouldn't take it all at once. It will drop blood pressure very, very rapidly. Magnesium, of course, is another one and should be a staple. Magnesium threonate, magnesium citrate, magnesium glycinate especially. Those are all really great options for managing blood pressure. Okay, now what about the patches? I know you've been waiting for this part. Yeah, so we've had, of course, a number of changes in the way we make claims, but what we're going to talk about are studies that we've done that you can find in the back office. And since 2005, we've been doing clinical studies on our patches using techniques like heart rate variability to look at what are the effects of the patches on the heart. Oh, by the way, I should probably mention my patch protocol today. X39 on the back of the neck, X49 below the belly button. I've got a set of energy patches on kidney 1 on the bottom of my feet, and of course, I have patches on heart 3 on my elbows. So I wanted to patch the heart meridian since we're talking about heart to heart. So we have done studies on X39 as well as our other patches at improving the health of the heart. And it happens very, very quickly. With X39 in as little about 6 weeks, we see measurable improvements. Now, there's this little thing called copper peptide. And as it turns out, if you go take a look at the research that Dr. Lauren Picard has done since the late 1960s, there is a very strong correlation between levels of copper peptide in the body and the health of the heart, and of course, longevity. And these effects are directly attributed to the ability of copper peptide to have favorable gene expression. Okay, and that's an example of one of the studies. Now, we've also done studies, as I mentioned, on energy enhancer. This one was done by Homer Nazaran, a biomedical engineer at the time at the University of Texas in El Paso. But with techniques like heart rate variability, which measures the ratio of muscle contractions between the chambers of the heart, low frequency and high frequency muscle contractions, we can see the effects of our product on the autonomic nervous system. So if we can get the body into a more relaxed state, that's going to have a favorable change on heart rate variability, and ultimately that'll show as an improvement in the health of the heart. Sorry, I've got to keep moving here. I'm a little bit behind. This is another study by Tom Budzinski, and again, you can get this in your back office, and it's showing very, very similar benefits. Now, carnosine is stored in the brain and the heart and the muscles. It's for anyone that has a problem with their eyes, there are carnosine drops that you can take. So if you have high blood pressure and now you're having a problem with your vision, you should be thinking about carnosine. But you can actually, in Europe, it's prescribed as medication for the health of the eyes, and you can get it here now in the United States. But because carnosine is an antioxidant, it's an anti-inflammatory, what we found when we studied carnosine and heart health was that even within the first week, it was going to show very, very significant improvements in strength and stamina. So this is important because if you're getting started with a health and fitness routine, this can really jumpstart your results, and this will keep you motivated. You know, if you're going to see results as little as your very first week, the odds of you continuing are pretty high. Okay, and another important thing about carnosine, very, very interesting thing about this nutrient, well, two things. One that I will just say this study was done by oral carnosine, is that it protects the telomeres from shortening. So in animal studies, in mice and rats, carnosine has been shown to increase lifespan by 35 to 40%. But even maybe more impressive is that the animals do not age until the very, very end of their lives. So it's like they stay 25, you know, right up until the very end. The other thing about carnosine for athletes is that it's going to act as a buffer for lactic acid. So what that means is that when you're competing or exercising and trying to improve stamina, it's going to help set off that muscle burn and allow you to perform longer and better. Not surprisingly, Eon, because it's for stress reduction, is going to have a very, very favorable effect on the human heart. So this is all to say that there are any number of patches that we sell that have favorable, beneficial effects on the heart, but through different mechanisms. So, work with your practitioner on, or just try things and see which product is going to be right for you, which is going to be the best one to use for yourself. But I would always recommend starting with X39 and then going from there, since the effects are so broad. So the bottom line on this is speak with your doctor first and work with your healthcare practitioner at putting together a program that makes sense for you. And think about these things in terms of long-term benefits, not that you're going to do it for a month or 2 months. Really be looking at the big picture. Also, be thinking about, why is it that you're going to be doing this? Think about the people in your life that love you and that you love, and you want to be in their lives for as long as possible. And so you're only going to be able to do that if you're around and you're healthy. So, be thinking about these things for motivation. And then I think lastly, what has been proved definitively is that when we live in a state of anger, aggression, stress, it elevates oxidative stress in the body, it elevates inflammatory stress, and it is going to be a contributor to heart disease. On the other hand, it has been absolutely proven in studies that when we live in a state of love, it reduces stress in the body and it reduces our risk of disease. So let's be thankful for what we have. Let's love one another, put aside our hatred and anger, and make this planet a true paradise to live in. Thank you for your time, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all back tomorrow. Thank you.
I felt like I just left a biochemistry class in college. Absolutely phenomenal to hear from a great mind like David Schmidt. Isn't that amazing? I mean, I know you've clapped for him already, but in late August, I had the opportunity to meet a phenomenal couple, a couple who is sharing Lifewave's products and building like very few others at the moment. They're amazing in so many ways, including this. Last night, I reached out to them just to talk a little bit about today, and this morning I got a text and it said, "I'm sorry, we were too busy. We had a number of events, we were sharing Lifewave, we were doing all these things." That's a good reason not to get back in touch with me, so absolutely love it. This couple is phenomenal. Would you please join me in welcoming to the stage Mike and Sahi Hernandez.
How's everybody doing? Woo! My goodness, we're excited to be here. Woo! We already lost 5 seconds. All right, sit down. Let's get right to it. They only gave us a couple of minutes, guys. Hey, first of all, I just want to say I thank God Almighty for all the blessings, all the favor, and all the things He's done for us in our lives. I want to thank God for David Schmidt. I thank God for Lifewave. I thank God for Steve and Gina Merritt, our sponsors. And my goodness, guys, we're excited to be here. So first of all, my name is Mike Hernandez. This is my beautiful wife, Sahi. And they asked us to come out here and give a little bit of a product testimony. All right, you ready? Life-changing. Now we have another 4 minutes. We have anything to do? No. Guys, real quick, we want to share a little bit of our story. And we have to go through this really, really quickly. So my wife said, speak, because we don't have that much time. And
he speaks fast, so he'll get a lot in.
So first of all, guys, I met my wife when she was 12 and I was 15. I'm not going to get into those details right now. Don't look at me weird. All right? We got together when she was 18. I'm sorry, when she was 15 and I was 18. At that point, I have no excuses. But we're both high school dropouts. And I feel really, really bad for the people who are translating me because I speak really fast. So basically, we're both high school dropouts. She dropped out in 10th grade. I dropped out in 10th grade. I never even got my GED. She got her GED. So together, we don't even have a full diploma, right? So, and I make it a thing to say this, guys, because I love what this industry has done. We first learned about this industry back in 2006 when we met Steve and Gina Merritt, and we were exposed to this beautiful industry. And they didn't know this by the time, but we were so broke. Remember, we have no education. Guys, we were so broke at the time that in order to make extra income, because I've always been an entrepreneur, and I never thought this would be part of my introduction, we were picking up garbage and selling it at a swap shop. Our parents were working for, wealthy people, cleaning houses, and in these big, beautiful communities, they put out garbage, and we saw stuff that had value. We found a way to sell it at a swap shop, and this is how we were making extra income. High school dropouts selling garbage. We learned about this industry, learned everything we've learned from Steve and Gina Merritt, and guys, we were able to earn multiple millions of dollars with our first company ever exposed to this industry. Now, that being said, after all that success, we wanted nothing to do with this industry. Absolutely nothing. When Steve called me, I was like, hey, no way, anything but that. But when we tried these products out, oh my goodness, we can't go into details. You guys know, these products were life-changing. My wife looked at me and said, we got to be crazy. The word was stupid if we don't get involved. We decided to get involved, and it's just been a wild, wild ride. We are having just the most amazing success. In our first company, it took us about 3 years to hit 7 figures. And this is no income claims, guys, because nothing is promised to anybody. But the opportunity is there for the same for everyone, right? It took us over 3 years to get 7 figures in this company. We did it a little bit under 14 months, thank God Almighty, right? But guys, here's what I do want to tell you, all right? Really, really quickly, because I know there's been some changes, right? And I love that there's some changes going on right now, because God knows I want to protect this company. And also, God knows I'm not the smartest guy in the room, so I can't compare to some of the presentations that you guys do. So thank God we can't be that smart right now, right? Thank God that we're going to be able to dumb it down a little bit. And here's the thing, truth be told, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to even say it in front of David, I'm not going to change my spiel. I'm going to keep saying everything that we're saying. All right? We're just not going to say it in public. We're going to turn off the phones and everything. And here's what I've been saying it. I'm going to continue to say it. And this is what I say. David is an alien. All right? David is an alien. He's from another planet. He flew here in a drone. I seen it. All right? This is not just any kind of drone. You can actually breathe the exhaust, and it's cleaner than the air. I mean, people don't believe that. They're not going to believe anything else, right? But it's true, right? So another thing is that, the guy is like using biblical numeric codes to do it. I'm like, this is just out of this world. He's out of this world. What planet? I don't know. I know one thing, Venus, what is it, Mars? I know it's not Uranus because he doesn't use any pronouns. He doesn't use pronouns. I don't think David uses pronouns, right? But guys, here's the deal. I'm glad we're going to dumb it down, all right? Because here's the deal, guys. I'm a high school dropout, and I'm telling you how much money we're making. I don't understand anything about the science. I just know one thing. This thing works, all right? And I thank God I learned everything I learned from Steve and Gina Merritt. You know why? He negotiated his way out of high school. He told the teachers, if you don't pass me, I'm coming back, right? And this guy is crushing it. Steve hit senior presidential director in 23 days, all right? All right? I'm a high school dropout, and we did it in about 10 weeks. Right? 8 years out of the industry. So here's the deal. Anybody here graduated? Clap your hands if you graduated, got a degree, whatever. All right. Listen. You can do it too. You can do it too. All right? You're just going to have to dumb it down, guys. Dumb it down, guys. Let's protect this company. This is God sent. 5 minutes go by so quick. Go ahead, baby.
No, guys, all I can tell you is that we're excited. You can tell, right? And the reason why we're excited is because we have a blessing in our hands that we can't be selfish. We got to go out there and share this with as many people as we can, and you're bound to see some results. You're going to see results, and that's going to give you the conviction, and it's going to give you that fire, and you're going to make it happen, guys, and let's do this. This is something that is blessing many people with their health and wealth, and what does everybody need in this world today? Health and wealth.
Guys. Listen, I don't know what you want out of life. Let's go. I don't know what you want out of life, guys. But let me tell you, you got a huge vehicle right now. Just get serious, get hardcore, guys. And listen, this is it. God bless you. We love you. Let's go.
Between Renita Brennan
And Mike and Sahi Hernandez, I don't know about you, but there's so much energy. So much energy. The two of them, I can't believe he got that many words out in 5 minutes. Absolutely phenomenal. Our next speaker is the Global Vice President of Marketing at Lifewave. And he is a 15-year veteran of the direct sales industry. He has a ton of experience, not only in marketing, but specifically in strategy, product development, product management. He's had a successful track record of building and leading world-class teams and multiple $500 million a year companies. He has a passion for this industry for a number of reasons. He has seen it bless so many people, both in products and in business opportunity. Please put your hands together and welcome to the stage Lifewave's Vice President of Marketing, Jeff Hildebrandt.
To start out, I have two thank yous to say. The first one is genuine, and the second one might be a little sarcastic. So first, to all of you, thank you. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for who you are. You've built amazing businesses, and my family and I are so blessed because of what you do. So thank you. Now, for the sarcastic one, whoever put me in between David, the Hernandezes, and the professional speaker, Aaron King, thank you. I really, really appreciate being in this position. Well, in the ever-evolving worlds of brands and business, there's one thing that's constant, and that's change. Now, change can be a really good thing, or change can be a bad thing. And it kind of depends on how we handle it, right? So for those who embrace change, it can lead to innovation, and it can lead to growth. But for those brands and individuals who don't embrace change, it can become a stumbling block. So today I want to introduce you to a few brands who are able to embrace change and do really, really good things. And I want to share a few examples of brands that were not able to embrace change and some of the effects. And then I want to talk about the evolution of the Lifewave brand. And we're going to have some fun and look back at some amazing things like old packaging. So to start out, you probably recognize these three logos up here. These are the ones that have been successful. So let's talk about Apple. So Apple started out as a personal computer company. That was it. What if they had stopped there? But they didn't. In 2007, they introduced something. Does anyone know what happened in 2007 that really changed the game? The iPhone. Yeah, the iPhone was introduced. And from there, it was innovation after innovation. It was the iPhone, the iPad, it was Apple Music, it was Apple Movies, and they continue to innovate, and they've become one of the more successful brands in the world and more profitable brands. Amazon started out in 1994 as an online bookseller. Can you imagine what life would be like if they had just decided that selling books was good enough? But they didn't. They continued to innovate, and they continued to grow their offering. And now they introduce such innovations like one-click shopping, right? Which is something that all brands aspire to have, one-click shopping. They also have Amazon Web Services and Amazon Home, like Alexa and the Echo and the Dot and all of these other innovations, and they continue to grow and innovate. Starbucks, you'll notice their logo up here, it doesn't have coffee on it. It used to be Starbucks coffee. But what they realized is that in order to continue to be successful and continue to grow, they needed to expand their product offering. So they went into food, and they went into tea, and they went into some locations, alcohol. But not just that. They even evolved the way that they talked about themselves and their positioning. I mean, there's a reason that we pay an exorbitant amount for a cup of coffee at Starbucks. It's a thing, right? So those are brands that were able to embrace change and be successful. Now let's take a look at a couple of brands that weren't able to. BlackBerry. So BlackBerry once was a titan in the executive world of business phones. Every executive out there had their BlackBerry. It was an email machine, and everything was good. But then something happened in 2007. The iPhone was introduced, and BlackBerry didn't move to the touch screen, and they failed to innovate. Next, we have Blockbuster. So Blockbuster, I don't know if you guys remember, I remember walking in Blockbusters as a kid, and looking at the movies and walking up and down the aisle, and it was a real thing. Well, they had an offer, or they had an opportunity to buy Netflix, and they didn't. Yeah. And so Blockbuster, they didn't innovate, and what ended up happening is they used to be a Blockbuster in almost every town, and now I think they're down to maybe one store. Garmin's another great example of a company who was just an absolute titan in both navigation software and navigation hardware. But with the introduction of smartphones, one of the things that happened is that they failed to introduce their software and integrate and innovate with those phone providers. And what happened instead is you have Apple Maps, and you have Google Maps, and you have these other navigation programs, and the actual navigator in the car almost became obsolete. So why are we talking about this? Why is this so important? Because innovation and change is a big part of growth. It's a big part of how you continue to be the best that you can be. Now, when you look at Lifewave, we've done a lot of changing over the years. We've done a lot of innovating over the years, and we'll continue to do a lot of innovating. But Lifewave, the products that we offer today, and the products that we're going to offer in the future, have not only the ability to touch and bless hundreds of thousands of lives, but the ability to change humanity. Think about that for a second. We are a technology company. And as we continue to evolve our brand, I'm telling you, the things that are coming down the road would blow your mind. Now, technology was at the very foundations of this company, and technology is going to be at the very core of this company's future. So let's take a little bit of a look at our product branding, first of all. So when you look at our product branding, take a look at 2011. Was anyone here in 2011? Raise your hands. Yeah? So we've innovated a little bit, and we've changed our product line now in 2023 to look the way that it does today. Now look at the enhanced aesthetics, the clarity, and the customer appeal. There's a new, fresh look, and David's vision and continued innovation has led to the addition of some pretty influential products like X39 and X49. Let's look at our visual brand evolved a little bit more. So these were on the top here. What you see are event branding pieces from 2006 to 2016. Was anyone at any of those? Okay. And then you look at the branding from the recent events here, and as you can see, it's a more consistent look and feel while still highlighting the uniqueness of each event. Next, we're going to take a look at the website, the old website versus the new website. And what you see here, again, is a visual brand that shows lifestyle imagery, that shows the patch placement guide. We talked about that a little bit. And continued innovation in the visual branding of Lifewave. Now, in addition to that visual branding, we need to continue to evolve our positioning and story. Just as Starbucks and Apple expanded their product lines and overall vision, so must we. And just as Amazon grew to be more than an online bookstore, we are so much more than just a patch company. To think of that way would be short-sighted, right? We are a technology company. And again, the products that we offer and the technology that we offer have the ability to change humanity, to change hundreds of thousands of lives. It already has millions of lives. And we need to embrace that. So let's take a look at some of that, because technology, again, was a core part of our past. So Lifewave was founded in 2002 by David, right? But before that, he owned a company. And hold on, I just have to read here because, let's see, they invested in diverse technologies like producing hydrogen and oxygen, multi-fueled bladeless turbine power generation systems, and metal combustion rocket engines. So just the stuff that we all work on in our spare time, of course. Aren't we so lucky to be led by such a visionary and such a smart individual? Absolutely. Then in 2008, David turned his attention to the up-and-coming field of stem cell research and the benefits that that could offer. And they started researching pulsed electromagnetic fields and what effect that had on stem cells. There were studies done at the National University of Ireland that found that it was effective. And all of that led to over 70 global patents. on medical devices that he has. Yeah, absolutely. Other research investigated the use of specific wavelengths for the improvements of copper peptides. I think David mentioned some of those. We all know what they are, the copper peptides, the ones that were discovered by Dr. Lauren Picard. Now, this study is known as photobiomodulation, and it shows great promise for the future of medicine. Lifewave hopes to one day offer an electronic device capable of elevating these peptides as well. Why is this important? Now, by the way, this entire story is now on our website on the X39 page, and you can start to understand and read about the foundations of Lifewave, the technology that got us where we are. And then in 2018, Lifewave had been continuing its research into phototherapy, and the emphasis of this research was to investigate better methods for enhancing the flow of energy in the body and significantly improving athletic performance. The result was X39. It was a new product for gently stimulating the skin with light for enhancing the flow of energy, improving strength, stamina, overall athletic performance, and even sleep. So who in this room has tried X39? Raise your hand. Woo! Absolutely, right? Every one of us has. Now let me ask you this. Who's seen an improvement in your vitality and wellness because of X39? Look around. Every single hand in this audience went up. Every single hand. That's the power of the patch. Use it because it works. I remember giving it to my mom, and I just gave it to her and said, "What is this?" And it was like my second day, and I was like, "I don't know, but I know you're supposed to put it on." And she came back in a week, and she goes, "What is this? What is this thing? And I need more." It's the power of the patch. It works. And when you have a product that works, that's the most important thing. Just like X39, the rest of our wellness products work in harmony with your body's natural energy, unleashing a reservoir of vitality and enabling your body to do what it was meant to do, only better, using phototherapy. And our journey is just beginning. All right, let's take a little bit of a look here at some of the tools that we're going to be enhancing because we are a technology company. So for example, in the US, we launched a beta program a couple of weeks ago on the InTouch app. We now have an instant enrollment feature where brand partners can send an enrollment link to someone. They can click on it in just a few quick clicks. They can be enrolled as a Lifewave brand partner. If you don't have the app, get it. And we hope to roll this out globally. We hope to continue to expand this. Additionally, for those that live in the US, you'll notice that this last week on Monday, we made some enhancements. We heard that we wanted it to be easier for us to enroll brand partners. So now when you click on the Join tab, it takes you directly into a brand partner enrollment. And we'll roll that out globally over the next couple of weeks. Additionally, we are launching product education toolkits. These are a one-stop hub for all things related to products. So we're going to have product imagery, product FAQs, social media assets, presentation decks, testimonials, and patch placement guides, and so much more. And this will all be available in your back office with updated branding and updated messaging here starting within the next couple of weeks around the globe. And we're going to continue on by introducing things like AI in the call center to help reduce call volume. We're going to introduce segmented audiences and being able to speak to you and communicate better to you, and so much more. Now, let's talk a little bit about global offices. So just like a Starbucks or McDonald's, if you were to walk into those around the globe, you would know where you were, right? So for those of you who have not had the opportunity yet to see our offices around the globe, I wanted to take you on a quick tour. So first and foremost, we have our offices in Asia. So as you can see here, this is Malaysia. We have an office in the Philippines. We have an office in Taiwan. We have an office in Thailand. We have an office in Japan as well. We have our European office where all of our products are manufactured. And then, I don't know if you guys knew this, but we just recently opened an office in Guadalajara, Mexico. Right? Just this last month. And it's a beautiful new office with beautiful new branding. So we're so excited to be there. But here's the problem that I see. I'm standing up here, and we've kind of migrated the global headquarters to Utah over the last couple of years, and I'm looking at all of these beautiful offices, and you know what? I'm a little bit jealous because we don't have a beautiful office, a beautiful global headquarters. Well, coming in quarter one of 2024, we're going to offer A future global headquarters for Lifewave is going to be based in beautiful Draper, Utah, just outside of Salt Lake. Why is this important for you? Because you are all invited to come. There will be conference rooms and places where you can bring your teams and visit. And there's another really, really, really big surprise, but I can't tell you about it because it's not mine to tell. But David will tell you about it tomorrow. So I'm so excited for him to do that for you. All right. Finally here, just to wrap up, my friends, we are in an amazing company with amazing products that you can't find anywhere else in the world. Our brand will continue to evolve and has evolved. We're led by a visionary. David is a man of faith, and I promise you he sees things in the future that nobody else sees, and he is developing products and technology solutions to address those. I am so proud and so grateful to be a part of this company. Thank you for all you do, and thank you for your time.
What's up, Lifewave? All right, question for you, friends. When you're typing, texting, tweeting, TikToking, where's Bo? TikToking. There he is. Give it up for Bo, the TikToker right there in the front. Amen. When you're doing these moments online, and you're sharing your Lifewave story, your Lifewave products, your Lifewave journey, how persuasive would you say that you are? Does the way that you show up to the world from behind the screen persuade the human on the other side to stop their scroll, lean forward, and say those three magical words, "Tell me more"? Now, if you're not sure, good news, friends, that is our game plan over the next 39 minutes. I'm going to share with you exactly how you can attract more attention, increase your influence, and sell smarter from your very next message, meeting, or high-stakes moment. How's that game plan sound? Good, Lifewave? Fantastic. Before we dive in, if we have not met before, my name is Erin King, and I really believe that the best way to get to know someone is not looking at the company that they worked for or the company they started, but what really matters to me is the company that someone keeps. So if y'all don't mind, I would love for you to meet the three people that have had the biggest influence on my life. Starting respectfully at the very top of our household, Lifewave family, please meet the one and only Miss Betty White. Oh, do we have any dog parents in the audience? Okay. Not to get political, this is very polarizing. Do dogs belong in bed with humans? Correct. Should dogs be forced to dress in Halloween costumes with their humans? Yes, they sure should. Everyone knows that a WWF wrestler needs a referee, okay? And I heard this guy in the blue say, "No, don't worry, sir. Look, she loves it. She loves it." Next, I would love for you to meet the person who thinks they're the head of our household, the one and only Mr. Hartman King, who's my husband. And he is a Southern boy. I don't know if we have any Southeastern of the United States guys in the audience. Okay. So his middle name is Hartman, which sounds like a last name. He goes by it as his first name. I'm as confused as y'all. All that I know is that in the right lighting, he kind of gives off like this Bradley Cooper vibe, which I'm very much here for. Kind of like a busted Bradley Cooper. I'm into it. Okay. Finally, I would love for you all to meet the woman who's had the biggest impact on my life. Lifewave fam, please meet Nana. Nana came over on a boat from Ireland, which I've heard has been a hot topic today. She came over when she was just 18 years old by herself. She's the original baddie of our life. And she's been teaching me and my 36 first cousins, Irish Catholics, love making more Irish Catholics. She's been teaching us that when life gets hard, and this is my favorite quote from her, when the haters and the bullies and the jerks come out, the people who don't understand what you're chasing down, who don't understand why this business means what it does to you, who don't understand where your energy is going and the mission that you are on. When you get that pushback, she would always say to us, listen to me, love, it is always better to be someone's shot of whiskey than everyone's cup of tea. So that's Nana, that's Nana. So growing up, Nana and I were obsessed with this television show. I think it was the best show, arguably, of the 90s. We have a mixed bag of ages here. Probably Bo's a little too young for it, but I think your gorgeous mom is more my age and she'll remember. It was a little show called Saved by the Bell. Anybody remember this? Yes, okay. So, were you Team Kelly, Team Jesse, or Team Lisa? Okay, a little controversial. That's okay, we can do it later. I was Team Jessie. I was obsessed with her super sweet 90s perm, okay? I knew that in order to be like my idol Jessie Spano, I needed the same sweet 90s perm, but there was just one problem. I didn't get very good grades in school. My mom was like, I don't know if we need perm chemicals like that close to the brain cells. Like, maybe we can, and I'm like, fair enough, okay. So the perm is not happening, not on Helen's watch. So Nana, who had what the Irish call the gift of gab, that ability to speak in a way that is so compelling, people can't help but say, tell me more. She helped me persuade my mom to agree to a compromise. My hair was naturally stick straight on my face. I would not be allowed to perm that. But Lifewave fam, as a compromise, I would be allowed to perm just my bangs. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, obviously, the hair is viscerally upsetting on multiple levels, okay? Some people have suggested that I was actually the original inspiration behind the movie Joe Dirt, so we have that going for us. So what my introduction video did not say is I'm also the inventor of the perm mullet, part perm, part mullet coming together. Now, what my perm mullet taught me in life, you guys, is that when it comes to anything, the perm mullet is the danger of doing anything only halfway, okay? You gotta go full perm. We gotta go full perm. All right, but seriously, I think some of us might not realize it, but you might be wearing a little bit of a perm mullet yourself. Now, I think we can agree, the last 2 to 3 years have been a little hairy for most of the world. And maybe for your perm mullet is the place between yes and no. Today we're talking about how you can get more yes online, offline, and all the time. And for you, the crazy thing is, sure, you get yes. Tell me more about Lifewave. Tell me more about the product. Tell me your story, sure. But more often than not, you don't always get no. You just get that awkward per mullet tension place right? We're laughing, but it's the worst. Did you get the message? Did you see the DM? Did you see it? Did you see it? You gonna write back? Did you see it? And it's funny, but that's really frustrating because we are here on this earth, right? Mary Oliver, our one wild, precious life. So anytime that you're investing your precious moments into reaching out, into asking for the yes, into making an offer, trying to meet, telling your story, we want to close that per-mullet space. We want to go full frickin' perm, okay? So that's our goal today. So before we talk about how to get yes, let's talk about why we actually get no. Now, a study came out from Cornell University 3 months ago that found that on average, you and I are making about 35,000 decisions every single day. 35,000 decisions. Our poor brains are like a bouncer at a nightclub, the hottest nightclub in town, and there are 35,000 people just snaking around the block trying to get in, and our brains like on the list, on the list, on the list, trying to get us through our day, right? And so I do a lot of these talks all over the world. I've trained over 1 million sales professionals in over 10 countries. And I've asked people, why do you think you actually get no? And most people say the same thing. Well, Aaron, it's just because no one can pay attention anymore. They have the attention span of a goldfish, of a fairy dust, of a pixie, of a star. No one can pay attention, right? And the truth is, while our attention spans have gotten a little shorter, it's also true that 15 million of us binge watched the entire season 2 of Stranger Things in a mere 48 hours, okay? Yellowstone, Bridgerton, where'd the hot guy go? We don't know. I didn't learn till season 2, okay? Our attention spans have gotten shorter, but that's not really what's standing between you and getting more yes in your business. It's because our attention spans have gotten shorter, so have our decision spans. Think of this morning. You're going through your email, you are ruthless, okay? You're like, yes, no, friend, foe, server, seller, in or out, right? You get a message and you're like, do I write back? If I do write back, what do I say? How do I start? Should I rewrite it? Maybe I'll call them later. Write back later? No, delete. Actually, take it out of the trash. Let's do it again. No. 12 decisions in 6 seconds. Okay? So we're tired. And this is why when you're going through your social media, you're going through TikTok. Obviously, we stop on Bose and we give it a like, but for a lot of us, you're on your social media and your brain is immediately trying to keep you safe, trying to get everyone from that 35,000 person line into the club if they're on the list, or sorry, thanks for playing. And so when you think about it, look at your social media. For me, like I'll open up my Instagram and I'll see this guy, right? Brachiosaurus Bob, okay? He's a vegan who volunteers. He only picks the winning team, right? He's always #blessed, right? I'm like, Bob, I'm out. No, next. Maybe in your newsfeed, for you, the quick decision is like always on vacation Vicky, okay? Yeah, she's in Italy again, okay? She's eating all the gelato, all the carbs, but they're like walking so much that she's like losing weight. It's so weird. It's like crazy, right? You're like, Vicky, who's paying for this? No. Maybe for you, you open your newsfeed and you see perfect mom Pam. Right? She's got like 97 children, but everything in her house is white. Just, how does she? You got good old just went to the gym, right? This guy hates shirts, but he loves a good bathroom mirror selfie. Maybe for you it's Deb. No explanation needed. Now, look, our friends on social media that our brain is saying no to, no, it's not that they're bad people. The reality is that when you and I get behind this screen to tell our story, there is a scientific phenomenon that psychologists use to describe why we behave so differently online versus an event like Heart to Heart here with our Lifewave family. It's called the online disinhibition effect. We're gonna call it the ODE mode for short. And the Ode mode explains why we are 34 times less persuasive from behind the screen than we are in person. We are 34 times more persuasive talking than we are typing. I think we can agree it's a Grand Canyon-sized gap between online you and offline you. So to close that gap, we have to understand what we're doing that's making us say yes to someone online, yes to their email, and what's making us say no. And the most important component that you can understand to change your response out of per mullet mode from meh to magic is this. Offline, we spend about 40% of the time talking about ourselves. It's like a tennis match, like the great scene from Bridesmaids, right? You're hitting the ball back and forth. How are you? How are you? What's going on? You keep the conversation moving, right? But when we go online and the Ode mode, like a Harry Potter invisibility cloak that blocks our good vibes, blocks our energy, blocks our nonverbal, what happens is immediately the Ode mode wraps around your brain and means that you are talking about yourself online about twice as much. So essentially, we're all out there online trying to be heard and get that attention and get that like and get that meet with me, but we're doing it like we're in selfie mode, okay? And we all love a good selfie unless you're using one of these in case we're judging you, but just to prove a point, friends, we're gonna bring the house lights up, okay? We're gonna bring the house lights up, AV team. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your phone, you're gonna flip it into selfie mode. You're gonna grab a friend you haven't seen in a while, and then when I start going like this, you guys join me so we can go back to the goods of why we're doing this. Sound good? If you have a chatty neighbor, shush them, okay? So we're gonna do a quick photo shoot. I want Zoolander, skinny arms, grab a buddy next to you, make a new friend, flip it into selfie mode. We're gonna drop a beat so it's not awkward. And then when I go like this, join me so we can come back. Sound good? All right, let's do it. Oh, can you guys play some music? Turn up the music. Is it going? We should have a vibe music going, guys. AV, music, music, music. All right, take your best selfie. We're supposed to have a great music playing right now, but there we go.
Hello, little babe. No, the road gets hard. You just wanna leave. I ain't never too far. Just have a little faith in me. When all the fears you have are all you can believe, oh, I'll be standing by your side. Just have a little faith in me. Have a little faith in me. Faith in me. Have a little faith in me. Just have a little faith in me.
Lifewave family, did you feel what just happened in this room? Did you feel it? Did you feel the energy come up? Did you feel yourself get so psyched? Like, honestly, not too bad for the old pandemic. Like, kind of killing it for 4:30 on a Friday, huh? Like, okay. Paris Stilter, we're in business, right? The truth is, friends, we usually say yes to ourselves. The truth that we all know to be true as professional sales, marketing, entrepreneurs is that persuasion is personal. Getting someone to say yes to you is always personal. And so the very simple switch that you can make when you stand up and you walk out of here from your very next digital message, email, text, social, the very small change that you can make is quite simply, is just to type more like you talk. Simply type more like you talk. Now this sounds suspiciously similar to focus on your customer, which is duh, right? But we know the ode modes around our brain, it's trying to make us not good at this. And so over the last 15 years, I have worked with some of the world's biggest brands, everyone from the Oscars in Hollywood to the United States Navy. My agency was pay per performance. So if we didn't get yes, we didn't get paid. So I was very motivated to figure out, how can we not just get that one random yes here and there, that one post that killed, but how can we engineer on purpose, more systemically, more of the yes? So we looked through thousands and thousands of emails, social media posts, and what we found was there were 3 key elements in a specific order that when we would set up content, videos, emails, posts, asks, when we would set up those asks using these 3 elements in this order, it would dramatically increase our persuasion power. So we decided to call it the pub method, okay? Which is very appropriate for today. You pub before you publish. Why is it the pub method? Well, because Nana came from Ireland, and she used to always say her favorite thing about an Irish pub was that there were no strangers, only friends you haven't met yet. So the pub method is how you can turn strangers into friends. Now, most of the world does not know that the ode mode is happening. They're just out there like Brachiosaurus Bob and Always on Vacation Vicky and shouting about their life. And there will be people in their life that love them. Their same 50 to 100 people are gonna be like, get it, Vic. Love that you lost weight on pizza, right? Love that for you. There will be people just like you. You could literally post anything and they're like, get it. But if you want to get out beyond your existing sphere of influence, we have to break through the ode mode, close the gap, level up. And this very simple pub before you publish will help you to get out beyond that existing sphere of influence and turn more strangers into friends. Okay. So the way that most people start presentations, emails, social media posts are usually 99.99999 one of these. Okay, I'm so excited to reach out. Don't reach out. I wanted to reach out. I'm hoping to. My name is. So when we see the open like that, even getting on a stage like today, I'm so excited to be here. When our brains, remember, 35,000 people trying to get in, so we're trying to see, are we in focus or not? Is this for us or not? Persuasion is personal. So when we open up our email and we see these classic openers, that little preview, those little 10 words, our brain just sees selfie mode, right? This is why LinkedIn is a cesspool, because everyone's like, my name is, I wanted to reach out, buy my stuff, DM Deb, right? All about them. What you can do that's different is what I shared with my friend Amanda. So Amanda was working corporate America. So she is a single mom with 3 kids. She essentially had what a lot of us have had, which is an unexpected family situation. Her mom wasn't feeling great. She got diagnosed with an illness. And so Amanda was like, how can I take care of my mom and still provide for my family? She found a network marketing company and promptly began to piss off every single person in her newsfeed. She made some of the classic mistakes. Look, she's a go-getter. She was out there just doing her best. But my mom, who loves Amanda, actually stopped following her on Facebook. It was a lot of caps lock, emoji excessive use. She was trying her best, okay? But so one day, like it's funny now, but at the time she was really upset because she's trying. And so I said, Amanda, can you just show me what you're sending? Just give me a little example. So she shows me this post. Sappy post alert. When I decided to walk away, I had no clue what I was doing. I wanted more time with my family, flexibility, freedom from financial stress. Now, there is nothing wrong with this post. This post is fine. But have you seen something like this before on the internet? Yes or no? Okay, do you feel incredibly compelled to say, Amanda, I don't know you, Aaron does, but I just have to hear more. Tell me more. Do you feel like that in your initial reaction? Why? A landmine of I bombs and my bombs, okay? Now, this is where the pub method comes into play. I said, Amanda, all we have to do is begin to use this method that I've developed with my corporate Fortune 500 clients. I don't know network marketing very well, but it has to be better than where we are today. So I said, let's start with something truly personal to your audience. Now, the most simple switch you can make in the first 10 words of your post, of your email, of anything is to remember persuasion's personal. Who's in focus in the first 10 words? Because you only have that power of the preview. When you see an email, it's just the first couple words. Who's in focus, you or your audience? The ode mode wants it to be you. But now you know better, and now you can't unknow. So here are some options. Anything but the word I is going to stop the brain, see them in focus, and say, ooh, go on, more about me, okay? These are some magical phrases. So for Amanda, we switched it around, and I said, have you ever thought you had life perfectly planned out, but then something unexpected threw you way off your path? Does that happen to anybody? Anybody in the last, 200-300 years, Yeah. So the truth is, in the beginning on social media, for example, you want to show about you visually, of course. It's your profile. It's your products. It's your beautiful photos. It's your beautiful life. Yeah, show about you visually, but you want to open with something that types about them verbally, okay? You change the open, you change the game. Second step, I said, Amanda, let's make sure that we're offering something that is truly useful to your audience, truly useful. Now, what most people usually do on social media is kind of what our friends do. Nothing wrong with this. If we love them, we're going to say, tell us more. But if you want new people to get involved, you look at these people and you think, you know what? Here I am in Italy. Here I am on a jet. Here I am jogging in my white jeans with my 97 children, right? Here I am working out again, right? When you see these posts, we're kind of like, well, duh, right? We can see that. We can see that. What's truly useful is what your audience can't see from the image alone, okay? You have so many non-Googleable gems to share with them. Your personal story, your point of view, your life hack, your recommendation, your creative idea. The internet is full of a lot of parroting and copycats, but no one can see the world in the way that you do. When we're looking at these photos, for example, let's say we have Always on Vacation Vicky. What we didn't know is that Vicky's going through a really hard time right now. Her and her husband are not doing great. She's lost her essence. She's lost her identity. And so she traveled to her grandmother's town to feel where she comes from, to get a vibe on her roots. She wants to figure out what it's all about. And so she took herself on a solo trip to Italy. Now, do we care about Always on Vacation Vicky? Yeah, we're like, get it, girl. Maybe if you just went to the gym, maybe he had something happen with his dad where he had some kind of, an illness that is hereditary. And so for Jim, he was having a really hard time getting into a workout routine, even though he knew he should. He found this great hack. He figured out that if he could just sleep in his gym clothes, put his shoes next to his bed, wake up and just step in, he was gonna go. Well, then there he is now doing his laundry on his stomach and his numbers are down. They're looking great. Right? Now, do we love Jim? Can you see the difference? Here is Amanda. Imagine you're crushing your corporate career when suddenly you need more flexibility to care for an ailing family member. That's where I found myself 1 year ago. So what can't they see from the image alone? Finally, we want to keep it brief. Now, for many of us, Lifewave family, we are high energy, fun individuals. Brief, it's not our jam. It's not our jam. We got a lot to say. That's why we're in sales, right? So I'll give you a quick story. So my husband is from Alabama, and when I first met him, thank you, roll tide, I was meeting my future in-laws. They didn't know, but I did, because I was like, this guy's a tall drink of water. I need to lock him down ASAP. So went back to Alabama, huge table full of Southerners who are actually the greatest storytellers, the right amount of detail, the accent. I come from Irish people. We're epic storytellers in the long, literal sense of the word, where we tell every single detail that no one cares about. Okay. So I'm telling this story. I think I'm killing it because I'm a pro speaker. And I can see my future husband, and he's going like this. And I'm like, I don't understand. He's like, babe, I'm like, to my future mother-in-law, Mrs. Charlotte Macaulay King of the Birmingham Kings. She looks at me, catches my eye, and she goes, bless your heart, darling. He is telling you you need to land the plane. Land the plane. We gotta land the plane. Deb doesn't land the plane. Okay. How do you land the plane? The ode mode's wrapped around your brain. It's like Dear Diary mode. We can't see someone going, We can't see that. So we're like, paragraph 6, and then write chapter 7. So if you want to land the plane, the very simple way to bring it home, land the plane, is this. You want to ask yourself, A or B? Is it this date or this date? Do you like this product or this product? Do you have this vibe or this vibe? My personal favorite, yes or yes. So do you prefer to feel energized or focused? Yes or yes. So for Amanda, we put this. If life has thrown you a curveball lately, which are you choosing to embrace? Faith or fear? Faith or fear? Faith or fear, Lifewave? Faith or fear? Come on, people! Faith, amen. And so here's what happened. We posted the same image of her and her beautiful mom with a pub caption. Now, reach on Instagram is a whole other conversation. It has to be the right time, the right hashtag, the right news cycle. Is Mercury in retrograde again? Why is it always in retrograde? We posted it, and I want you to look at the number of likes. Now, likes don't pay the bills, but they are an indicator of the yes that you are attracting to your hard-created content, okay? Look at the same image, pub caption we just walked through, and look at the difference between 19 likes and 10 times the yes. Can you see the difference? So you want to look at your next upload, and you want to say, am I being personal? Am I being useful? Am I being brief? So in verses saying, like, for example, we'll talk about it in a second, actually. We know we have to go full perm. We've agreed to that. Yes, full perm. Are we on the full perm train? So here's my challenge to you. If you all take the selfie that you just took earlier and you post it anywhere on social media, you can tag me, you can tag Lifewave. We're going to pick 10 people, 10 of the best selfies that are practicing the pub method, and I'll give you a little secret how to do it in a second. We're gonna give away free signed copies of my book, Digital Persuasion, in the next hour, okay? So here's the big little secret here. Most people, when they're at an event like this, are like, I'm in Orlando and you're not. Right? Because you're kind of like, it's kind of fun, right? So here's the thing, what I challenge you to do is let's just practice the first step. Wherever you like to play online, just practice sharing an image of you and your friend, you and your buddy. Yes, share you, but can you flip the first 10 words to make sure that your audience is the one in the selfie? Because persuasion is what? Persuasion is what? Personal. So flip the first 10 words. Have you ever wanted to skip an event and almost not shown up, but then you did and you were so glad you made that choice, right? Imagine that you were in a tough season and you had a lot of doubts about diving into this incredible opportunity, but then luckily you listened to your gut. And it takes guts to go with your gut. So there you are. You haven't seen members of your team in real life in a year, 2 years, 6 months. You hug them, and gosh, doesn't it feel good to be in real life again? When you can change the first 10 words, you can flip the focus. So now your audience, you're bringing them here to Orlando with you and allowing them to say, yeah, I see myself in that journey. Tell me more. Make sense? Yes or yes? All right, cool. All right, so speaking of selfies, because some of you are like, Aaron, this is great. Love the pub method. I'll try it, but I'm not really a selfie person. Anyone in the room not a selfie person? Yeah, okay, keep it real. It's okay. No shame in that game. Here's the thing. What if I told you that a selfie actually changed the course of my entire life? Before Will Smith slapped Chris Rock in the face at the Oscars, this had been the most famous moment that the Oscars had ever seen. You guys remember this? A bunch of celebrities got together, they broke the internet. What you can't see from this photo is that just 6 months before it was taken, I was sitting at my old, cold, wooden kitchen table with my head like this, and I was crying my eyes out. I couldn't pay a $100 cell phone bill. I'm gonna back it up for a second. I don't know what your money story has been in your family, but I am the granddaughter of 4 Irish immigrants, and they came here to find a new life, a better way. And so growing up, we had a lot of love, no one was hurt, we had food, we got to go to school, we had a wonderful childhood, and growing up in an immigrant household with 36 first cousins, it was a soundtrack of scarcity. Does that make sense? Like, we were safe, but if you were going to the field trip to the aquarium, no Free Willy plush toy, right? If you were, at pizza on Friday night, don't order Mountain Dew, just water. In high school, you can borrow the car, but rental car rules. Return it, fill it up. So it was just this soundtrack of not enough, not now, not today. And so I remember thinking to myself, everyone's talking about, my mom had to ask for money from my dad had to ask from his boss, my grandmother had to ask from my grandfather had to ask from his boss. Raise your hand if you are someone in your family that is the first person to break a generational soundtrack of scarcity and own your own destiny. Hands up nice and high and proud, and look around. Look around. How did we do this? Well, we did it a couple ways. For me, when I couldn't pay that bill, I had started 2 companies, exhausting, expensive failures. The third one, I tried to start a social media company from my kitchen table, and it was the last chance. This bill could not be paid, and it was that moment that we all have where we ask ourselves, you know what? Right now, I'm finding myself at an intersection. It's either the intersection where this is God, the universe, this is a sign. The dream is in you, but maybe it's not for you. It's time to fail fast and move on, okay? Or maybe over here, it's the moment in every Oscar-winning movie where it's darkest before the dawn, where the hero gets up one last time and tries, and that is when they achieve their breakthrough. Now, when we hear these stories, it sounds so simple to go this way, but if you've ever known the fiscal heaviness and fear and burden of feeling insecure, you know that that path is a whole lot more realistic, yes or no? And so in that moment, I did what I think we should all do when we're at a crossroads where it is hard in real life to know what to do. I went to shower church. Tell me you don't get the best ideas ever in the shower, I'm not wrong. Yeah, exfoliations equal epiphanies, that's science. Okay, so I'm in shower church, the downloads are coming as they do, and I remember what Nana used to always say. She would say, love, when we struggled coming to this country, we would always tell ourselves the stars will align. The stars will align. Now, I don't know what your mantra is when you're in a tough situation, when you want to quit, when you want to give up. Is it faith over fear? Is it progress over perfection? Mine was the stars will align. So I kept trying to find a client, just one big client. You know how it is. I just need that one influencer, that one person who knows 10 people, that one yes in a sea of no to trigger a momentum that I am ready for. And so for me, I was getting rejected, shot down. No, not happening. Can't pay the bills. The stars will align. The stars will align. The stars will align. And you keep going to almost a delusional point where you're asking yourself, when is it enough? One pub message led to a meeting, which led to a moment, which led to my little teeny company of me and an unpaid intern that I met at a dive bar bathroom. Like, we were just at my kitchen table working on social media for like terribly small clients. One message, pub message, talking personal about our dogs, useful, an idea on how to make it more engaging because her event was too long, and brief. Can you meet Tuesday at 10 or Thursday at 12? And what she wrote back was Thursday. It led to a meeting, which led to a moment, which led to me back at that same old, cold wooden table with my head pressed against, but I was crying for a different reason. I had somehow been hired by a little agency to run social media for the world's largest event, the Oscars in Hollywood. Yeah, it happened. So the big day arrives, I recruit all my friends, we're working super hard, we're getting ready. I'm on the red carpet, I see my birthday twin, Reese Witherspoon. I'm like, Reese, like she doesn't care, she's like, whatever. So we're there, and we're working on social media, and we're helping people, and we're supporting them. The stars will align, the stars will align, the stars will align. You guys, on my watch, as the person in charge of millions of conversations, which I had no business being in charge of, this selfie goes viral on my watch, and I realized we have to be so careful. The words that we use, the language, not just the words that we share out into the world, but the words that we tell ourselves in our darkest moments, when we are crying, when we're not okay, when we don't want to get back up. The language that you use, that you tell yourself, matters specifically because the stars had quite literally aligned. So this one breakthrough led to changing my life, changing my business. But for you, this is what is possible. Your Oscar moment is possible when you remember the messages that you send, they're not just messages. The messages you send are moment makers. And any message at any moment can unlock your Oscar opportunity. So what is that for you, Lifewave fam? What is the Oscar opportunity that you are deciding to unlock? Not someday, not when, but when you get up and you walk out of here and you leave. What is your version of that moment that you need to break through, to achieve that momentum? Let me ask you this. Why do you think you haven't? Has it been a limiting belief? Something from your childhood where someone said it's not for you? Has it been an old habit that you know you gotta quit, but you just can't seem to set it free? For you, is it a relationship? One that served you for a while, but it doesn't serve you as well in this season. What are you afraid to set free? I want you to be brave and call it to mind right now. Will you set it free? What is the one teeny tiny little moment that you could try? Is it a Google? Is it a start something? Is it a get up out of here and try to post personal, useful, and brief messages? Feel brave in an environment where we have AI and ChatGPT and terrible, awful global news, and it's so easy to get sucked into it and feel irrelevant and feel insecure and feel not enough. We decide to focus on what you can control, which is how you choose to show up. What is that one action you will take? And finally, friends, I want you to imagine that you're receiving. Imagine that you receive that moment for you, for your family, for the inner child that's watching, for the other women and men and children in your life that you are setting a money story, a life story, an impact story for, not just for you, but for everyone that is watching you. A lot of people online have a lot to say about what you do and how they feel about it. But you and I both know, as Nana said, that they're not the ones in the arena. You are the one in the arena. You are the one in the arena. And so, Lifewave fam, it is my deepest hope that you will remember to flip the focus, type a little more like you talk. Understand your Oscar opportunity is a message away, because messages are moment makers, and you are more than ready. You are born ready for the moment that you were destined to make. So Lifewave, my name's Erin King. Thank you so much. All the success, online, offline, all the time. Your stars will align. Your stars will align. Let's go, let's go. It's time.
I'm a sailor in pain, and I lost my leg.
Have you had a good day, Lifewave? Tomorrow morning, we will be starting at 9 o'clock sharp. The doors will open at 8:30. We can't wait to see you there. Tonight, there is an international reception at the Hilton Orlando just around the corner that begins at 6 p.m. in the Orange Ballroom. Senior presidential directors may have their portraits taken between 6:30 and 8:30 p.m. And enjoy your evening, enjoy your dinner, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Lifewave.